The final weekend of the first half brings us to Los Angeles for Baseball Night in America. The Los Angeles Dodgers, the Kansas City Royals at Dodger Stadium on a very hot Saturday afternoon. Record temperatures, and speaking of hot, these have been the two best teams in baseball since the beginning of June. The Royals charging to the top of the Central within striking distance of the Indians, and the Dodgers, the best team in the majors over the last couple of months. As we say, welcome inside. Joe Davis with Eric Karros and AJ Pierzynski. Let's start off with the Dodgers. This team started the season 10-12, but since then just about everything has gone right.
Well, it really hasn't. And when you talk about hot, I don't think there's been a hotter player as far as power in the National League than Cody Bellinger. 24 home runs already, and when he starts, the Dodgers are 49-16. But he isn't the only one powering this Dodger lineup. You've got young Corey Seager, one of the best shortstops in all of baseball. He is swinging it again, and then let's not forget, newly selected All-Star, his first time going to the game, Justin Turner. He's flirting with 400.
He won the final vote in the National League. Mike Moustakas won the final vote in the American League, and he's been a big part of the reason why, AJ, these Royals have gone from 10-20 right back into the postseason picture.
Absolutely. The Moose is loose in Kansas City right now. 25 homers before the break, a career high, also the all-time record for the Kansas City Royals in the first half. Mike Moustakas is leading this team not only back into the standings, but into contention for the AL Central. He's got a shot at Steve Balboni's all-time Kansas City record of 36 homers in a season. If he stays healthy, he should lap that number. So the Moose is loose and Kansas City is hot.
And they'll try to even this series at a game apiece after the Dodgers took the opener last night. Kansas City and Los Angeles from Dodger Stadium on Baseball Night in America. Record temperatures this weekend, 94 degrees in downtown Los Angeles, and the forecast is spot on. Dodgers and Royals ready to play game 2, and the Kansas City lineup for this one looks like this. Whit Merrifield will lead it off. Then it's Jorge Bonifacio with his first start of the series. Kane and Hosmer and Perez, Moustakas, Escobar, Gordon, the old guard there for Kansas City, batting in front of Ian Kennedy. So we're all set. Merrifield stands in. And Brandon McCarthy with his 14th start of the season, but his first one in 2 weeks. Went on the disabled list with what was termed as knee tendonitis, but in his last start on June 25th, had a return of the yips that he battled last August, really lost command. Quickly ahead of Merrifield, 0-2.
Well, Dave Roberts telling us prior to the game that he had a bullpen, a simulated game. In between his last start and today, he threw well, was able to control that issue. It'll be interesting to watch him early in the game.
Merrifield bounces one to Seager at short, and a ground ball out gets us off and running. And it was the cutter and the four seam that he lost the feel of. He was still able to throw his sinker and his curve for a strike. He went 1, 2, 3 in the first inning, the issues in the second, and then was okay in the third.
Well, the thing that surprised me that Dave Roberts told us is McCarthy will talk about the yips. Most players don't talk about it. They try to pretend it's not a real thing, that it doesn't actually happen. But Brandon McCarthy will openly talk about it and say, hey, yeah, I got the yips, but he feels like he's past it and moved on.
Jorge Bonifacio on the first pitch that he sees, grounds to Seager, 2 up and 2 down. And it was something that McCarthy had to battle through last August. He was really mowing along after coming back from Tommy John surgery, and then walked 5 in 3 consecutive games. And he said, you know, he's gone through Tommy John, all these injuries, but you don't know if you're ever going to come back from something like that.
Well, and it's something that, is it mechanical? Is it mental? Dodger fans can remember back to the days Steve Sachs playing second base, just having trouble throwing the ball to the first baseman. Again, it's something that you just have to combat. And once you get it out of your head, you're usually okay.
Lorenzo Cain lifts one into center. Pederson won't get there, and a 2-out base hit for Cain. Kansas City aggressive.
It'll come back, though, Eric. It won't just go away.
First baseman, number 35,
it'll come back.
Hosmer.
Little jam shot by Kane. Bloops it in front of center fielder for the first hit for the Royals. But the yips, once you have them, it's like golfers when they get the yips with their driver. They can't ever get it completely out of there with the putts, the short putts. Forever, Sergio Garcia, who won the Masters, had the yips on short putts in big situations. Rick Ankiel's a guy. Chuck Knobloch had to move to left field because he couldn't throw the ball. So it's always in there. You're just always trying to keep it out of there.
Runner at first with 2 gone. Eric Hosmer stands in.
Thought we were ready to do a U.S. Open promo.
Just about halfway there. Outside ball 1. Of course, John Lester, somebody who's dealt with it throwing to first. He's learned to manage it.
Well, what I found interesting is that McCarthy has this issue, and they immediately put him on the disabled list. Let him try to correct it when he feels good, which is apparently now. Run him back out.
Yeah, before that last outing when things popped up again, he had been really good. Giving the Dodgers a nice 1-2-3 with Clayton Kershaw and Alex Wood. Previous 6 starts before the issues 2 weeks ago for McCarthy, he had a 1.57 ERA. Got it in the hands of Hosmer. And in that bright sunshine, Yasmani Grandal finds it to finish the Royals off in the first. The Dodgers come to bat for the first time against Ian Kennedy after a 7-pitch first for Brandon McCarthy. in this last month and a half where they've been the best team in baseball. And here is the starting lineup. Utley, Seager, and Turner. The All-Star Bellinger bats cleanup. Then it's Taylor and Pederson. Now Smiley Grandal does the catching for McCarthy, who bats behind Yasiel Puig. 32-year-old Ian Kennedy is a Southern California native. In his last 4 starts, he has been really good.
Well, he really has. You know, I had an opportunity to watch him against the Angels a few weeks ago. Really threw a good ball game. He battled some issues early on in the season, went on the disabled list, and didn't go to the minor leagues for any rehab starts, just came right back to the big league level and has really started to find himself.
Well, he went on the DL with a groin problem, his right groin, which is his push-off leg. And people talk about arm problems with pitchers, but if your legs are bothering you as a pitcher, it's hard to push off, it's hard to get that drive, and it's hard to stay consistent in your motion, which leads to other problems.
Yeah, they said mechanics became a big issue as he was dealing with those leg problems. He starts Utley with a strike. Second season in Kansas City. Signed a 5-year, $70 million deal prior to last season. Now in his 11th big league season. Utley pulls one just foul, and it's 0-2.
Well, you mentioned those leg issues, AJ, and how it impacts other things. Really, for him, it was basically what it came down to is the control and being able to hit spots. He was walking more people, was giving up more hits, a few home runs, and that all has to do with his ability to locate in the zone.
Working on the veteran Utley here in his scoreless first inning. Kennedy back home 0-2. Utley pulls it on the ground to first. There's Eric Hosmer, and one away.
Shortstop, number 5, Corey Seager.
Up comes Corey Seager to face off with Kennedy. Reigning Rookie of the Year in the National League and headed back to the All-Star game for the 2nd time in as many full seasons.
Well, you see the 900 OPS. He got off to a bit of a slow start, but remember, he basically missed all of spring training, battling some back issues, some other issues, and now he's playing like the league knows him as one of the best players in all of baseball.
This guy's huge. Have you stood next to him? You don't understand how big this guy is until you actually stand next to him and shake his hand and see his mitts he has. He looks kind of slim, but when you stand next to him, the size of him shocks you at first.
Another bounce at a first. Kennedy covering and back-to-back ground out starting Kennedy's afternoon.
You talk about his size, wide hip guy, big legs, but moves very well.
Number 10,
very athletic.
Turner.
Again, there's always talk about is he going to move to another spot. But for me, he's a shortstop.
I wouldn't move him unless I absolutely had to. Unless you have Justin Turner at third, which would be the logical move. You have Bellinger at first. He can't go there, so why move him? Keep him right where he's at as long as he's able to do it. A-Rod, Cal Ripken, all these guys did it for a really long time as bigger shortstops than what had become accustomed for so long in the big leagues.
Well, I wasn't advocating next week moving him. Just saying somewhere down the road.
Here's Turner taking ball 1. Yeah, and you're right. I mean, the infield is set up where long-term they'll have Turner at third after his contract he signed this offseason for 5 years. Bellinger's a rookie at first. And that infield could be together for a really long time. A couple of years of Logan Forsythe under control at second as well. 1-1. Leading hitter in the majors, Justin Turner. Hits this one off the end of the bat into short right field. Bonifacio has it. And Kennedy works a 1-2-3 first on 8 pitches. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by the new Samsung Galaxy S8. Joe Davis, Eric Karros, A.J. Perzinski back here in Los Angeles, and no score through with an inning. Brandon McCarthy back to work and facing Salvador Perez to lead off this frame. Catcher for the Royals headed to the All-Star game for the 5th consecutive season and one of the game's best backstops.
I put him in the top 2 or 3 with Buster Posey, Yadi Molina, and Salvador Perez. In the American League, he's tops for me on any list you can come up with. Durability, hitting, catching, throwing, and that yellow hair, blonde hair that he has is also pretty cool.
Yeah.
You're kind of an authority on hair, if I remember.
And Seager goes up to get it for the first out of the inning.
I may or may not at one time have had some blonde.
Oh, you
locks.
had some blonde. You had some blonde hair, and you weren't playing for the Puerto Rican WBC team. That was actually a choice. That was actually a choice. You said, you know what? I think this looks good.
True story. I did it originally because Jim Thome, who I was at the game last night here in Dodgers, bet me, and I'm not going to say the amount, but he wrote a check to me when I showed up the next day with white hair.
I would hope you got paid for it.
Mike Moustakas, the All-Star, with the bases empty and 1 out. Pops the first one up that he sees, and behind the mound, Corey Seager. 2 quick outs here. I mean, did the bet include a length that you had to go with it for? Because I know it was a bet that caused you to do it, but what made you keep it?
I hit 300 that year.
Okay.
So I had to keep it.
Uh-huh.
I hit 300, and I was getting a lot of hits, and sometimes as a hitter or baseball player in general, you just stick with things that are working. You don't want to mess it up, and then
even though they look real bad, you just stay with it.
But when I did let it go back to my natural color, Jerry Reinsdorf, the owner of the White Sox, like, you're crazy. You changed your hair after hitting 300. You're crazy. And I needed a change because I think my hair was going to fall out from all the chemicals.
Alcides Escobar takes ball 1.
This is the guy, EK, for me, needs to get going. Him and Alex Gordon, the next 2 guys. If the Royals are going to sustain their run, these are the 2 guys that have to lead them.
Well, you're absolutely right, especially hitting near the bottom of the lineup. They turn that lineup over, and these guys, they're not producing at the level that they had in the past.
Both of them better lately. Escobar overall this year, though, the lowest on base percentage of any qualified hitter. 1 spot below him is Alex Gordon, who signed that big contract a few years back, and since then has the 2nd lowest batting average in baseball.
Well, look at the Royals aren't going to wow you with taking walks, having a high on base percentage. They're up there, they're swinging the bats, and they're trying to use their athleticism.
And on 14 pitches, Brandon McCarthy has the first 6 outs of the game. The rookie Cody Bellinger leads off the bottom of the 2nd when you come back. telecast is sponsored by Falcon Tires, the official tire of Major League Baseball. It's much cooler right there in Santa Monica than it is here at Dodger Stadium right now, but congratulations, guys. You're part of history. The hottest weekend in downtown Los Angeles on record. Cody Bellinger leads off this second for the Dodgers and takes ball one. Youngest position player in Dodger history to be named an All-Star. Called up in late April, and that corresponds with when this team took off. 1 ball and 1 strike. Dodgers started this season 10-12, and they now sit 59-29. And Bellinger's been a big part of that.
He got off to a scorching hot, obviously from his numbers, but teams have started to make adjustments on him. That pitch right there, the back foot curveball / slider going into him, he's had a hard time laying off. They've been pitching him in. They've been throwing him fastballs up, and then when they get ahead of him, they throw the back foot curveball. And he's had a really, really hard time laying off of that pitch because he's getting beat inside. And as a hitter, when you get it beat inside, you start cheating.
2-2.
But one of the other things too is you look at what happens when a full count arrives. You look at that, and just as you said, AJ, last 11 games, 167.
Fouls this one back. We'll do it again.
But back to what I was saying, when he gets to a 3-2 count, earlier on when he first came up, he's getting fastballs. Now the league is adjusted. They're starting to throw breaking balls, going out of the zone. He's expecting fastball, and it hasn't worked out as late.
Here comes another 2-2, and Bellinger takes it in the dirt for ball 3.
Also, when you're hitting fourth for a team with the best record in baseball, guess who starts paying attention? The other team.
Yeah, everybody.
They start looking at him. There's his father. Played in the big leagues, won a couple World Series with the New York Yankees.
Climbs the ladder here to stay alive. It's Clay Bellinger. A couple World Series with the Yankees, like you said, and then played 1 game with the Anaheim Angels in their World Championship season, so has a ring from that one too.
Had a chance to speak with him before the game. He's a firefighter out in Arizona. 120 degrees right now. How about that?
That is the leadoff walk for Bellinger. Yeah, I would not want to put fire gear on in Gilbert, Arizona this time of year. There he is in his Yankees days. It was a charmed life Cody had growing up in the Yankee Stadium clubhouse. He got to know Derek Jeter a little bit as a 4- and 5-year-old. Was in the car with his dad during the World Series parades, and has commented on how special that would be to be able to have a parade of his own here in Los Angeles.
Got a younger brother that was just drafted by the Padres. There's a proud father. He's going to be throwing the BP.
I told him don't hit him. Don't hit his son. That would be the most embarrassing thing. Gets to go to the All-Star game with his son.
Strike one on Chris Taylor.
Flying with the other Royals representatives on a jet, and he's his +1, so it's a pretty nice thing for his son to do to take his dad, have him throw BP and the home run derby, and maybe he'll win.
It'll be Monday next week, a couple days before his 22nd birthday. Runner at first to start this inning. Kennedy to Taylor with an 0-1. Banged to second. Caught on the fly by Merrifield for out number 1.
Chris Taylor just scorches this ball. Merrifield makes a nice catch. Bellinger, good on the baseline. And Chris Taylor, I'll tell you what, he's had as much impact as anybody on this ball club this year. Everything he hits is hard, versatile. He's allowed Dave Roberts to move people in and out of the lineup. Nice job there by Merrifield.
And Adam Hamari, the second base umpire, with a quick call to give Bellinger a chance to know right away that, hey, it was caught, so we need to scramble back, and he did that. He ran the bases perfectly.
So he's at first with 1 out, and Kennedy to work against Joc Pederson. Strike 1. Pederson, in a way, was Cody Bellinger before Cody Bellinger. Pederson busted onto the scene a couple years ago He was in the home run derby as a rookie, an all-star as a rookie. But since the second half of that debut season, it's been a constant set of adjustments to his stance and his swing. The Dodgers happy with where he's at right now in early July. It's coming off of the disabled list a few weeks ago with a concussion.
He still swings hard. He's always swung hard. He doesn't really cut it down with 2 strikes. He lets it rip, and he's swinging for the fences every chance he gets.
On this 0-1, he rips over the top, strike 2.
And when we talked about Bellinger and the back foot slider, that's the pitch to Joc Pederson that he's had a hard time with also. Fastball's up, and then they go to this pitch. You see it up out of the hand, you go to swing, and it just drops away from your bat.
Bellinger at first with 1 out and an 0-2 that Pederson fouls off. Barely got a piece again.
And you're not lying, AJ. I mean, everything he does hard, does it with violence. You watch him take BP, and he can hit some of the farthest balls going.
I'd be tired in BP. If I swung that hard every time, I'd be exhausted.
Another 0-2. Pederson lifts one to deep right field. Bonifacio back, and a 2-run shot for Joc Pederson. His 9th of the season, and the Dodgers strike first. So the Dodgers on the board first with Pederson's 2nd home run lifetime against Kennedy. And now Yasmani Grandal takes one that bounces.
1-0. That's what makes his Dodger lineup so dangerous, is there isn't a place to breathe. I mean, if you're trying to catch this ball club, AJ, how do you set up to prepare? How do you navigate, go through this lineup?
The first thing I don't want is a right-handed starter, because they murder right-handed pitching. When you see a righty out there, the Dodgers are in their bat room just salivating because they can't wait to get up there. And second of all, you just got to be perfect on every single pitch.
Just that.
Just
That's
be
it.
perfect.
Just perfect.
It sounds so easy, doesn't it? It's hard because they've done such a good job of stacking the lineup with guys that can all do damage at any time, and a lot of them don't have a lot of weaknesses.
Grandal with a solid bouncer, but Merrifield positions him well and throws him out. 2 gone.
You take a look, this breaking ball is just kind of hanging there. Joc Pederson knows right away.
That's the danger of not getting the curveball, breaking ball to a left-hander's back foot. Because if you leave it just up enough where they can still reach it, Bellinger, Pederson, these guys can deposit it in the right field bleachers with just an easy swing. That was actually an easy swing for Joc.
2 outs and Kennedy to face Puig. You talk about the length of this lineup. How about Yasiel Puig hitting 8th just about every day and 16 home runs, the latest of which came last night.
Well, what's interesting for me is what Cody Bellinger has done so far up to this point. And in the first 60 games, the Dodgers are 45-15. Bellinger has an OPS of just under 1,000. When Yasiel Puig came up, The first 60 games, the Dodgers were 44-16. He had an OPS of over 1,000. I mean, he was making more of an impact, if you can believe it. And he's hitting eighth now.
Yeah, he drops a base hit into center to keep his second inning going. That was in 2013, his debut season, and helped the Dodgers go on a 42-8 run, not dissimilar from what they've done lately.
Yeah, again, that time Puig came up, and he absolutely became, if you're a fan of the Dodgers, you were enamored with him. It took the whole city by storm, exciting, and he was one of the best players in all of baseball.
That gets McCarthy to the plate with 2 gone here in the second. Strike 1.
I remember seeing Yasiel Puig in spring training before anyone really knew who he was, and he hit a ball to right field off us in spring training that almost knocked the wall over, and I watched him run, and I'm like, geez, that guy should be playing middle linebacker somewhere with the size and speed and the power that he has.
You know, I think one of the reasons you see him get down to second base, you know, one of the reasons I feel Puig is having a good season, he's not the guy. He's not the, you know, the Dodgers aren't saying, hey, look at it, he's our number 3 hitter, he's our number 4 guy. He's not the one that they're marketing. He's just being allowed to go out and play. And he kind of is in the shadows of whether it's Seager or now Bellinger or Turner. And he has really, really flourished.
The Dodgers were smart. They took the pressure off of him. You live in LA, you understand that, hey, when you're the man in LA and you're the man on the Dodgers, it's something that you can't put into words, you can't understand unless you're that guy. So you start trying a little harder. You start trying to do more, and by moving him down, it's taking that away.
Strike 3 called on McCarthy to finish the Dodgers off in the second, but Joc Pederson gets the scoring started with his 9th home run of the season. And after 2 in Los Angeles, the Dodgers 2, the Royals nothing. The Royals half of the third after a Joc Pederson home run makes it 2-0 Dodgers, and we are Joined now by the all-star pitcher of the Dodgers, Alex Wood, is 10-0 this season. Alex, congratulations on the trip to the All-Star game.
Thank you, thank you. I'm very excited.
One of the 6 Dodgers headed there. Sub-2 earned run average for Wood as Alex Gordon takes ball 1. AJ, you know Alex a little bit, right?
I know him well. I caught him a couple years ago before he was traded to LA. I was actually very disappointed when he got traded, Woody. I said I can't believe that we traded about 7 major league guys for Hector Oliveira.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed too, but it's funny how things work out.
Yeah, I think it worked out well. 10-0, going to your first All-Star game. So first, congratulations. And Joe and Eric believe the reason you really blossomed out here in LA is because now you have a better catcher than when you did when you were in Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm sure that they're constantly giving you crap up there, but no, I've been fortunate to play with a lot of good guys, including you. So it's been a lot of fun though being here in LA.
Alex, what was the mindset going into spring training, and then when you broke camp, you started in the bullpen?
Yeah, I mean, it was difficult. It's kind of one of those things where you just gotta try and control what you can control. And I mean, I understood it from our team standpoint. We have a lot of very quality starters, and no one else had really had much experience in the bullpen or done well when they had been there. So I got it to a certain extent, but I knew I'd get my shot, and I was glad that it turned out the way it did so far.
2-2 on Alex Gordon starting this third. McCarthy drops one over the outside corner for strike 3. McCarthy looking good through 2 1/3. What's it been like, Alex, to be part of this rotation, obviously with Clayton Kershaw at the top of it, but to now have a lot of people mentioning you in the same breath as a co-ace with Kershaw?
Yeah, I kind of shake that off. I don't think anybody can be mentioned in the same category as him, but we've had a lot of guys throwing the ball well, man. It's been a lot of fun to watch. We've had a different guy really kind of being a game changer every night, and not just that, but the depth and the amount of guys that we have that are making a difference on a nightly basis has been really fun to watch.
Woody, when I had you in Atlanta, you like to throw a lot of balls in, especially to right-handed hitters. Talking to Dave Roberts today and talking to you a little bit, you've kind of gone a little bit away from that, throwing more sinkers, changeups away, and back foot breaking balls. Has that made the difference from where you were a couple years ago? I know health and things like that, but has a pitch selection and a pitch choice made that big of a difference?
Yeah, to a certain extent. I wouldn't say I'm too much different. I think in terms of pitch selection and how we're going about it, I think we're attacking all 4 quadrants a lot more evenly, if you know what I mean. And also, I've been pitching more towards my strengths, and you get some guys that hit everything, some guys that kill lefties that hit everything, breaking balls, changeups, fastballs away. It's been one of those things where you get guys like that and you start pitching more to your strengths and things like that. But really, pitching to all 4 quadrants has been a big part of I think our success that we've had this year for sure.
Woody, I'm getting off the technical questions. Here it goes right now.
Yeah.
You have to face one of the guys in your lineup, the Dodgers. Who do you not want to face, and who do you want to get right in the box and just eat them up?
Who do I not want to face? God, that's tough. I mean, I guess it's hard not to say. It's hard to say JT. I mean, he's hitting like 400.
That's fair.
and OPS and over 1,000. So I mean, he's pretty tough out. And I think he's got like the highest on base percentage, like top 5 highest on base percentages in the first half of any season ever. So he's a pretty tough out. So he's probably the one guy you don't really want to see up there in a tight situation.
All right, I got the second part of the question. Who do you want to face?
Who do I want to face? We're a pretty tough lineup. I think just kind of to see what Corey's all about. It would be fun to kind of face him just because his swing is so sweet and his bat stays in the zone for so long. He's definitely somebody that can cover all pitches and all parts of the plate, and so he'd definitely be fun to face. Try and figure out how to get him out.
Don't lay a first pitch in there because he whacks the first pitch, Woody.
yeah, he kills it.
2-2 on Whit Merrifield. Alex, what is it you're most looking forward to about your first All-Star game?
Oh man, I'm looking forward to everything. Just kind of taking it all in. It's still kind of surreal that I'm headed to Miami to the All-Star game with all these great players across the league. But I'm really excited, and I think just getting to take part and be on the field at the Home Run Derby and seeing some of these guys put a beating on some balls will be a lot of fun.
Well, congratulations again. We really appreciate you taking the time to visit with us.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate you having me.
That's Alex Wood, the National League All-Star. Dodgers up 2-0 to the bottom half. Top of the Dodger order to bat against Ian Kennedy here in the bottom of the third. A 2-0 Dodger lead and a Joc Pederson home run. Chase Utley climbs in. Kennedy comes home with strike one. We're joined by another All-Star now. Jason Vargas headed to his first All-Star game, leading the American League in wins and an earned run average. First of all, congratulations, Jason.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much.
Nothing in two.
Jason, the Royals making this, I don't want to say, I guess it's a resurgence, right? Probably about a month and a half ago, a little different story. What has it been for you watching this ball club? What's been the difference?
I think it's just playing good quality baseball from the first inning to the ninth inning, and you know, just doing the little things right. And when those things happen, things seem to go your way. And you know, when we get on that roll, a lot of guys here know what that feeling's like.
So why do you guys win this division? You know, why should I believe you're going to win this thing?
Because we have the guys that have done it before and know what it's like to play those meaningful games and really come out and bring what it takes to come out on top.
Jason, you're from Southern California. Is this the hottest day you've ever had down here? Because poor Karros is next to me. He's an LA guy. He's going to die of heat stroke up here.
Yeah, man. I think people think that it's always sunny and 75 down here in Southern California, and you get out here at Dodger Stadium or Anaheim Stadium and it lets you know how hot it is in Southern California real quick.
Now, what's been the mix for you? I know you're a starting pitcher. You're not going to probably pinch hit in this game. So are you in the clubhouse? Are you in the lock? Are you in the dugout? Are you back and forth?
You know what? Doing a little bit of both. Trying to stay out of guys' way, give guys a place to sit when they come in, and you know, try not to get too hot out here as well. But you know, you can't beat a ball game out here with this weather, and you know, they got a great crowd out here today.
So Jason, the great success for the first part of the year, For you, what's been different, or what's allowed you to have this great season?
You know, I don't know how many things have been that much different, other than, you know, making some better pitches in some situations when guys have been on base, and you know, making some better quality pitches to get myself into counts where I can be aggressive throughout the game.
So are you a different pitcher than what you were 5 years ago?
I don't think I'm different. Probably just know what I'm doing a little bit more than I did then. You know, I definitely don't think anything's changed. Would have been nice if the velocity would have gone up, but we'll take it where it is right now.
Corey Seager looking at a strike.
You've never been known as a high velo guy, so your pitches, at least when I faced you, was always a changeup, and it drove me crazy because I just either pop it up or beat it into the ground. So you also developed a cutter, which later on drove me crazy because then I'd pop that one up and beat it into the ground. So are you, like Eric was asking, have you changed anything this year? Because 12-3 with a 2.5 ERA. There has to be something that you're doing different. I know you believe in yourself more, but come on, give us something. Give me a trick so I sound smart here to all the people listening.
Yeah, you know, I wish there was. You know, I follow Salvi out there. You know, we have a good game plan going in. Like I said before, you know, just making more quality pitches in times when it matters and early in the count. And come on, Lolo.
Back-to-back base hits here from Utley and Seager. Jason, we really appreciate you taking the time to visit with us. Have a great time in Miami next week, and again, congratulations.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me on, and you guys enjoy.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
So Utley and Seager back-to-back singles, and Justin Turner coming to the plate with nobody out. Turner flied out his first time, an RBI chance against Kennedy here in the third. Overthrown, ball one.
Not too bad with runners in scoring position, huh?
Yeah, but it's not too often when you see 354 and you look up, he's hitting higher than that without runners in scoring position. That doesn't happen very often.
He's struggling with runners in scoring position,
exactly.
right?
25 points lower than his batting average in all situations.
You're a math guy, aren't you?
He's not. I know. 1-1.
As superstitious as baseball players are, will Justin Turner ever shave his beard?
Not right now.
No.
Some people grow beards, some people dye their hair blonde or white or whatever it was you did, right?
That's right. Whatever it takes to get those hits.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You know, it's almost something like you want to be able to control something because baseball is just, it's such a roller coaster.
As a hitter and an everyday player, it's crazy the ups and downs in your mind that you go through.
Turner fouls it off, 1-2.
I think with all respect to all the other professional sports, I don't believe that there's a more mentally taxing sport than baseball. I mean, I get golf, but I would say just, you know, the constant grind, you're competing against somebody else, the failure rate, and the ability to just have to regroup and believe in yourself every single day. And it's not for everybody.
You have to lie to yourself.
You really do.
And that's the hard thing to learn is how well can I lie to myself? Telling yourself, oh, I'm 0 for 20. I have Clayton Kershaw on the mound today, but I'm going to figure out a way to get 3 hits to break out of my slump, and I'm good enough to do it. That's the mental grind as a hitter every day, is when you know you're getting 500-600 at bats to get out of those slumps by faking it almost.
Top of the order trying to do some damage for the Dodgers against Kennedy. First and third, nobody out, and a 1-2. Turner lifts one in the air. Right center field. Kane and Bonifacio come together. It's Kane, and it's plenty deep enough to bring home Chase Utley to make it 3-0.
A good at-bat by Justin Turner. He fouled off a few pitches here. He gets the ball elevated, stays out of the double play. Gets himself a productive at-bat. You know, again, that's what we talk about, just the ability of all these hitters to have a plan up at the plate. Turner, Ward, Tim Hires, the hitting coaches for the Dodgers, do a great job.
Approach. You have to have an approach and a plan every time you step into that box. And sometimes it might not be the right approach, but at least you have one. One of my old hitting coaches used to tell me.
That was Turner Ward right there. We just saw it. The hitting coach for the Dodgers. There he is. Always jokingly say, just trying to get gooder. Just trying to get gooder.
He's an Alabama guy. Still lives in Mobile in the off seasons. Kennedy to Bellinger with his 0-1 pitch. Taken low for ball one. Bellinger walked his first time and scored on the Pederson home run. Fades away. 2-1, and the player stat brought to you by Just for Men Auto Stop. Comb Gray away. First position player in team history to make the All-Star game in his first season. Knee jerk maybe, well, what about Corey Seager? And Seager debuted the prior fall.
And much like Mike Piazza, same thing. He'd been called up in September of '92. Man.
And get cheated.
No, he doesn't.
With all the Rookie of the Years in Dodger history and all the great young players that they've had, Valenzuela, those guys, Eric Karros.
I was going to say.
Keep it going, AJ. Keep it going.
I think we can stop right there.
Let's just let AJ talk.
But that they've never had a first-year player make an All-Star team. That seems impossible.
Bellinger goes the other way. That's in left center. And cut off on a bounce by Gordon. It is a double for Cody Bellinger. Besides being one of the more powerful players in the game, he is also the fastest Dodger.
Yeah, very athletic player. And I think for him right now, he's been struggling. But look at this pitch. It's on the outer part of the plate. And as a hitter, you always want to take what they give you. Shoots this thing well. The left center does a nice job. He sees it. All right, I'm thinking double. You know, and remember, last night, with the infield shifted, he dropped the bunt down. So again, it's not just all the time up there swinging for the fence.
Well, he took his body completely out of that swing. Just used his hands with 2 strikes. Kennedy threw him a fastball up out over the plate. He shot it to left center for an RBI or for a double.
Second and third, one out for Chris Taylor, who fouls back the first pitch from Kennedy. Can that sometimes be an equation to get you out of a slump? Minimize things, simplify things as far as the mechanics?
Absolutely. I was always told when I was struggling or having a hard time at the plate, get handsy. Take your step, take your body, take your hips, your shoulders, everything out, and just use your hands and try to hit a ball to left field, being a left-handed hitter, so go the other way. It's easier said than done because the adrenaline kicks in and the anxiety of not getting a hit kicks in, but if the good ones and the really great ones have the ability to do that, slow the game down and get handsy.
Strike two.
Well, you watch Bellinger right now, the load and everything, the hip cock, and then boom, the hands, elbow tucks. I mean, again, you couldn't draw it up any more perfect. I mean, mechanically, he's right there. The bat is flat through the zone.
The big thing in that swing for me was there was nothing on his back foot. He didn't rotate on his back foot.
Into a drawn-in shortstop Escobar. Taylor the second out of the inning.
Which means that he took his body out of the swing. He wasn't trying to do too much. Like Eric said, just a perfect swing. You cannot draw it up any better.
With 2 outs, it's Pederson, who started the scoring last inning with a 2-run homer. His second in 7 career at-bats against Kennedy.
And if I'm Kennedy right here, I've got first base open. I'm gonna use Pederson's aggressiveness against him. I'm gonna stay out of the zone, make him chase, see if he can get himself out. Again, I've got a base open. I've got Grandal up next. Just don't want to be down another 3 in one swing.
Ian Kennedy mowed the Dodgers down in the first, just 8 pitches, but in 1 2/3 since then, he's had to throw 50. His next one is cut on and miss. Strike 1.
It's a nice pitch. It's what you were talking about earlier, AJ. That pitch to a left-handed hitter from a right-handed pitcher. That back leg breaking ball, getting it in there. And you mentioned last time on the home run, Ian Kennedy just left it hanging out over the middle part of the plate.
Well, all the things we talked about Bellinger doing, Pederson did the opposite. For as smooth and easy as Bellinger swung on that double, Joc Pederson still has yet to cut down a swing, and he won't with 2 strikes.
Second and third with 2 out. Kennedy to Pederson with a 1-2. Nice stop by Perez to keep the runners put.
I mean, you talk about, we were talking earlier in the game about the size of Corey Seager. How about Sal Perez? I mean, that's another one that, I mean, you don't realize how big he is and the ability to move behind the plate, how athletic he is. I mean, you were big for a catcher. I mean, you were not a small guy.
I was, and Sal makes me look like a tiny little person when I stand next to him. His hands are so big that his glove, he almost doesn't even need a glove. He just looks like he just catches the ball with his bare hands.
Fastball rises by Pederson for strike 3, and the Dodgers are finished in the third. They add 1 and a sac fly from Turner, and after 3, lead 3-0. Real as it gets. Down by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. There, Karros and AJ Brzezinski, Joe Davis back in Los Angeles, where the Dodgers have a 3-0 lead on the Royals. 2, 3, and 4 coming up against Brandon McCarthy. Jorge Bonifacio takes strike 1. Grounded to short his first time. Guy that they are really high on. Came up for his major league debut in April. 24-year-old out of the Dominican. Lines a base hit into center to open the inning. Well, this is a Royals team that started this season at 10-20. They had the worst record in the majors, and it was looking like for sure they would be sellers with all these guys in the final years of their contracts, but they've turned it around. 34-21 since. Had that stretch where they won 11 of 13 in June to get right back into the postseason picture. Big part of it has been Mike Moustakas and his 25 home runs. It is already a career high for him. He's headed to the All-Star game, and so is Jason Vargas, who we talked to last inning, leading the American League in both wins and ERA. Lorenzo Cain was one of those guys that was almost certainly going to be dealt if the Royals continued to tumble, but doesn't look like he or anybody is headed anywhere now.
No, and really, they turned it around on the West Coast trip at the beginning of June. They came out San Diego, San Francisco, and then the Angels. And I had an opportunity to call 2 of those games. And what was interesting is I talked to Ned, and I asked him, so when are you going to start selling? He said, selling? We're not selling. We're still in this thing. And that was the beginning of the road trip. They started off well. I catch them on the back end with the Angels. And the first question I asked, so who you looking to acquire? And it just goes to show you, in a matter of 1 week, this ball club went from wondering, well, where are we headed, to there's a real possibility for postseason, especially when you're talking about not only the division but the wild card opportunity. These guys are playing well, and the real jolt for them, Danny Duffy back, and he'll throw tomorrow against Kershaw. He'd been out for a while, oblique strain.
There's a 1-2 to Cain. It's low.
I mean, they have a lot of things that have gone well for him in the last month, but it's not out of the ordinary things. It's, look at Moustakas is swinging the bat well. Cain got hot. Hosmer, Escobar, and Sal Perez. I mean, geez.
Yeah, they've kind of gotten to where Royals fans hoped that they would be this year. And because they've done that, it's not just changed the picture for Kansas City heading into the trade deadline. It has really reshaped the entire trade landscape because they had so many pieces that would have been key. That's taken low and away in a full count.
What contending team wouldn't want Cain, Hosmer, Moustakas, Escobar? All these guys are valuable pieces, and they're Royal legends too. They were brought back not only to the postseason but 2 World Series in a row. This team's not going to do anything. I think they're going to ride it out at least as long as they can and give these guys one last shot, one last opportunity to get to the postseason and win a title.
That's a walk, and 2 on with nobody out here in the 4th. And here are the standings in the American League Central. Minnesota lost already today, so Kansas City now tied with the Twins. Everybody chasing Cleveland, and if the postseason began today, they would be in the wild card game.
And you just wonder, is Cleveland, everybody has been waiting for them to run away. Maybe they don't run away. Maybe this is as good as they are. Kansas City again has been playing well. Maybe they now look to acquire somebody. And is it going to be somebody that makes a splash? No, but it's a piece that you could add in the bullpen, maybe a 4th or 5th starter. It's somebody that can impact them during the season to get to the postseason. Not necessarily a difference maker that you may acquire for the postseason.
Eric Hosmer takes ball 1. Kansas City had 1 base runner over the first 3 innings, but they put the first 2 on here in the 4th. And Hosmer, who has been red hot the last few weeks and really back to the beginning of May after a slow start, bats representing the tying run.
A left-handed hitter that likes the high ball.
He gets one and turns it around to center for a base hit. They will send Bonifacio to the plate. Pederson's throw is on target to get him. Joc Pederson with an outfield assist to keep the 0 on the board. With nobody out, that hurts.
Great play by Pederson. First faking out Bonifacio like he's going to catch it, deking him. Then a perfect throw to Grandal. Long hop, easy tag, but a bad send by the third base coach. No outs. Your best hitter coming up in Salvador Perez. You would have had the bases loaded, nobody out. It's a bad send to give the Dodgers an easy first out.
Well, right there, the way Bonifacio gets off of second base, he literally does a 360-degree turn on his jump from second. The minute he does that, if I'm at third base coaching, that's it. You're not going. We'll take our chances later. But you can't do a 360 turn and expect to score.
You also can't stop. He stutter stepped rounding third because he was expecting the third base coach to stop him, and he didn't.
So 2 on with 1 out. Sal Perez hits a pop-up into shallow center, and Chase Utley can't get there. That was a great read by Lorenzo Cain, and he scores the first Kansas City run. A base hit from Perez. It's 3-1.
You know, it's interesting because he scores, right? And so your comment is it's a great read.
Only because it falls in, though.
It's a great read because he dropped the ball, right? It's not a great read. It's actually, you should be halfway right there, but that ball bounces out of your glove. You're doubled up right there. The only reason you're not doubled up is nobody's covering second. But that was an aggressive read.
Okay, I was a little generous.
I'm not getting, but it just, sometimes things work out and it's not necessarily the right play. It works out, but not necessarily right.
Well, if Utley catches that ball, he's dead out because he's already at third base, and the pitcher or somebody will get there in time. Joc Pederson or Utley could have turned around and almost ran it back.
Moustakas cracks his bat on a little pop-up to Turner with the infield fly rule. It's out number 2. This is part of what has defined Kansas City, though, in these last few years where they've been so good, the aggressive base running.
Well, and you see, he takes off. He's running right now. He doesn't even see what's going on right there. He's got his back turned. He's decided I'm rolling the dice and I'm going, and it worked out in this case. See if he hurt his elbow on the slide, maybe.
They're trying to cool down his elbows.
Hey, I'll take anything at this point.
You ain't lying.
So 2 on with 2 out, and it's the 7-hitter Alcides Escobar. Strike 1. Royals finally getting to McCarthy here. Started the inning with 3 singles and a walk, but only 1 run to show for it. But Mike Jerschley sending Jorge Bonifacio and getting him thrown out by Pederson.
And you can never go back and say, oh, if he wouldn't have sent them, then they would have scored 2 runs, because everything changes. But it was still a bad send.
Pop up to right. Yasiel Puig has it, and the inning is over. Kansas City on the board on a base hit from Perez. Middle 4, 3-1. Dodgers in front of the Royals 3-1 to the bottom of the 4th inning. Ian Kennedy to Yasmani Grandal. He goes after the first pitch, pumps it down the left field line, and it's fair. Bouncing into the seats for a leadoff double. A little teardrop that nestles inside of the line, and the Dodgers have the leadoff man at second.
Beautiful thing right there. Broken bat. Just throw it over the third baseman's head. Don't even have to run hard because it bounces into the stands for an easy ground rule double.
Yeah, you see that. I mean, obviously not the swing he wanted. Almost feels like he blocks the ball. Puts a little side spin on it, shoots it into the stands.
So the Dodgers trying to take the run right back after the Royals got on the board in the top of this inning. Here's Puig. He swings away and pops it sky high to left. And it's Gordon for the first out. Tomorrow it's the Sirius XM All-Star Futures game on MLB Network, followed by the T-Mobile Home Run Derby Monday on ESPN. Both these teams will have a representative in that. All leading up to the can't-miss event of the summer, the MLB All-Star Game, Tuesday at 7:30 Eastern on Fox. 3 Royals, 6 Dodgers headed to Miami, including both of those guys. Although Clayton Kershaw will not pitch on Tuesday, he'll start the finale of the first half tomorrow.
Well, Alex Wood was named as a replacement for Clayton Kershaw because he's pitching on Sunday. So Alex Wood right there is thanking Clayton for pitching tomorrow so he gets to go to Miami.
You know, with the season Alex Wood, though, is having, it's tough to see that he wasn't selected.
Absolutely.
McCarthy takes ball 1.
If you're 10-0 going to the All-Star break, it should be mandatory that you're named to the All-Star
team. On one of the top teams, right?
On the best team in the league.
A clause in the rules: if you're 10-0, you're automatically an All-Star.
Absolutely.
Just like if you're hitting 380, you're automatically an All-Star. 2-0.
The fans got that one right when they voted Justin Turner into the All-Star game. Almost 21 million votes.
A record for the final vote. Moustakas won it on the American League side. Kansas City fans always tremendous support in All-Star voting. 3-0 on the pitcher McCarthy.
Kansas City fans tremendous support for their team in general.
Yeah.
For years when I would play in the AL Central, we'd go to Kansas City and they always packed the fans in. No matter how good or how bad they were always there, they were always loud, and they always were behind the Royals.
And this has been quite the resurgence for them over the last few years. Kansas City looking for its 3rd postseason trip in 4 seasons after a 28-year drought.
Ned Yost done a wonderful job with these youngsters. I should say youngsters. They were youngsters when they were winning World Series. Eric Hosmer, Moustakas. You know, the one thing I'll say that where Ned has been consistent through all the period, he always believes in these guys. He thinks, yes, good things are going to happen. Yes, we can get to the postseason. Yes, we can win a World Series. When so many others, man, I don't see that happening. Or, yeah, you guys, I don't know that you can be a playoff team. He genuinely believed it, and he's been right.
Kennedy comes back to strike McCarthy out. 2 out.
And for all those years, the Royals playing against them, when you go into Kansas City, they would say, we have all these prospects. We have all these prospects. Sometimes these prospects are going to lead us to the promised land, and they tried different groups of prospects. And finally, they found the right nucleus with Ned Yost and Salvador Perez and Moustakas and Hosmer. And Jeff Francoeur, when he was there when all these kids were young. He told me, man, we got all these prospects. At some point, these guys got to turn into players. And in 2014, we saw it in front of our eyes when they won the wild card game, went on to lose the World Series, and then the next year go back and win it.
Chase Utley takes ball 1. And then last year, injury problems, Moustakas and Kane and Gordon, after they were really healthy during those pennant runs. Underperformances. Perez didn't have a great year. Gordon had a bad year. Kane's numbers were down some. That continued down to the early part of this season, but hottest team in the American League lately.
You know, when you're a team like the Kansas City Royals, you have a window. And whether that window is 2, 3, 4 years, that's what you've got. And then you have to regroup. You don't have the economic flexibility like the Yankees or the Dodgers or, you know, teams of that magnitude. And the reality is the window probably has the rest of this year. And then it's going to be start over.
Utley turns one around to deep right field. Bonifacio's back on the track to catch it at the wall. Chase Utley just barely misses. We've played 4, and the Dodgers lead at 3-1.
Trips to Puerto Rico, say the word and we go. You can be my flica, girl, I'll be a flico, mama sister. I would never make a promise that I can't.
Back in Los Angeles, the Dodgers have a 3-1 lead on to the 5th inning. Alex Gordon to lead it off and continues a trend of these Royals just hacking away. That is now 10 of the first 17 hitters that have put one of the first 2 pitches in play.
Yeah, that's not uncharacteristic of this Royals ball club. You look at what they do throughout the season. Only Tampa Bay attacks the first pitch more often than any other ball club. And these Royals right now, they're just holding true to what they do. Get up there and swing.
They're ultra aggressive. They've always been ultra aggressive. They don't take a lot of walks. They don't strike out a lot. Even when they were winning the World Series, they were the same team. They're not going to change it now. Why would they change it? They won. They're successful.
To strike on Kennedy, they are kind of they're zigging when everybody else is zagging, because this is the 3 true outcome era where there's so many walks and strikeouts and home runs. Royals not doing much of any of those.
Well, that's one of the reasons I think that a lot of people have always discounted the Royals, because with all the metrics, they defy a lot of them. Whether it's working deep in counts, whether it's high on base percentage teams. What they have done the last few years is just out athletic everybody. They go out there, they will steal bases, they play superior defense. They create a lot of havoc. I mean, remember that wild card game where they came back against John Lester and the A's? I mean, they just started running rampant on the bases.
And if you remember, that was the game that led to Lester not being able to throw to first. It's when it kind of all came out. No one really noticed it before until that game when they're like, wait, John Lester can't slow these guys down because he can't throw the ball to first base. So that led to now all the problems you see with the Cubs and all the things with that.
It's a bouncing ball to short. Corey Seager's got it. And Kennedy the second out. Then you go on to the American League Division Series, down to their final few outs against Houston. And then it was death by 1,000 paper cuts, just single after single after single to allow them to come from behind and eventually win that series.
I did that series with John Smoltz and Matt Vasgersian, and we were in Houston thinking, man, the Royals are going to lose this series. And there was a ground ball to shortstop.
Correa.
That they booted it.
Yeah.
And after that, they couldn't get him out. And then they went back to Kansas City and won Game 5 and went on to win the World Series. But the Astros had him. They had him down and out. And that one misplay by Correa led to the Royal. It wasn't the only thing, but it was the play.
That changed everything, right?
Absolutely.
With Merrifield, third time through the Royals order, there's strike one. Brandon McCarthy home with an 0-1 pitch. One slips inside, it's 1-1, and the Dodgers have to be really encouraged with what they've seen from McCarthy today.
I had McCarthy back when he first came up in 2005 with the White Sox. He was a huge prospect with the White Sox, and he was a four-seam guy and a curveball guy and threw straight over the top. You watch him now, more three-quarters, more sinkers and cutters. We had him, he wouldn't throw a slider cutter because he said it was going to hurt his arm. So he refused to make adjustments. Then I read an article where he said, oh, I went to sabermetrics and learned that this is a better way to pitch. And we joked that, no, you know what happened, Brandon? You realize that 88-mile-an-hour four-seamers just don't work anymore. So now his velocity's up because he changed his arm angle. He's getting guys out early in the count, and he's throwing cutters and sliders, which he swore he never would do. So credit to him, he made the adjustments needed to.
This ball's driven to the right field corner. Puig not going to get there. Merrifield makes the turn. Puig guns for second. A two-out double for Whit Merrifield.
Right fielder Jorge Bonifacio.
And with two outs, it brings up Bonifacio. It's funny you say he went to sabermetrics as if it's a religion.
He did. There was an article, I think it was in ESPN, the magazine, or Sports Illustrated or something, and he literally was like, oh, I turned my career around by figuring out sabermetrics. Well, no, you turned your career around because you don't throw 88-mile-an-hour four-seamers anymore right down the middle. That doesn't work in today's game, and he made the adjustments necessary. You can credit whatever he wants, but for me, it's the change in arm angle and change in pitch selection.
Strike one on Bonifacio. And you mentioned the arm angle dropping. A large part of that was the shoulder blade problems he was having.
I was there for that. I was there for that when he started in Chicago, and then when he went to Texas for John Danks and some other players, that was kind of where it all came to a head. Missed a lot of time.
That was really the only thing that would relieve it, was moving that arm angle down, not stressing the shoulder blade so much. Battled through that. Then, of course, the Tommy John right after the Dodgers acquired him in 2015. With a man at second and two gone, a 1-1 is overthrown, and the first one we've seen from McCarthy totally get away today.
So now you watch the next pitch and the pitch after that. This thing not even close. You see he just yanks it.
Just a bit outside. No chance for Grandal.
So if you're catching right now, what are you doing? Like, where are you setting up? What are you going to call? What?
I'm thinking you're not throwing a cutter because that's what he just yanked out of the batter's box. So I would not be surprised to see either a sinker or a curveball just to get him to think about something different.
Off of Grandal's glove, and this leads to a Kansas City run. Merrifield in to score, and it's 3-2.
Eric, you just talked about their athleticism. There you go. Most people don't even try to score on that ball. Not only did Merrifield score, he made it easily standing up with no play.
Hey, he really did. So what happens here? Is this just
that's
is
just
that
a clank?
Is it clank, right?
No, that's just a straight clank. Oh, clank. There's no cross up. There's nothing. That was just a straight clank.
I mean, it didn't even look like he got his glove to the ball.
He was late.
Yeah, he really was.
Happened again on ball 4.
Now, we were talking about the yips with Brandon McCarthy. Guess who has the yips right now?
Yeah.
Grandal. And I've been there, and it is an absolutely horrible feeling.
So what is that feel? I mean, when you say you have the yip, are you not picking up the ball, or you don't catch? What is that as a catcher?
You don't have the answer. You don't know. You have a feeling of, please, Lorenzo Cain, hit the ball so I do not have to try and catch it. And it is the worst feeling, and it'll hit you in this situation. When you miss balls like this is just late with your glove. You see the little draw, and then he just is late. And there's no excuse for it. There's no rhyme or reason for it. That one is forgivable because it's just so far outside. But when you call a sinker and the ball sinks down and in, and you're late getting to it, you just want to run and hide. And pray that Lorenzo Cain hits this ball so you don't have to try and catch it.
So do you get into a mode now? I'm just calling like, hey, maybe a good time to revisit that four-seam fastball right down the middle. I mean, as a catcher,
you're starting over. It's like day one in spring training. You are just pitch to pitch. Just catch this ball. Now the Royals are going to probably try and steal right here. So then he's just an added bonus for him that, okay, if Bonifacio takes off for a second, not only do I have to try and catch the ball, I have to also try and throw the guy out. So he's just praying that he catches this pitch right here, whatever it is.
Cain has reached both times today with a single and a walk. Strike one, and he threw a strike, and it was caught.
Imagine that, a catcher catching the ball.
I'll tell you what, though, that sinker looks like it has got a lot of run on it right now. I mean, those last three, and I don't know if it's because of the way Grandal's going after the ball or if it's movement, but sure looks nasty.
He almost missed that one. It was in the dirt, but you notice he was late getting down to blocking. He didn't know what he wanted to do with his glove. Do I block it? Do I stay up? What do I do? And at the last second, he fortunately got his glove down. He's just late with his glove.
Here's the 1-1. Fouled off, 1-2.
Wild pitch, forgivable offense, too far outside. The next two are just whiffs. That's a whiff. Next pitch, he whiffs again. And then the curveball, late with his glove, almost whiffed 3 times. It's a bad feeling.
Dugout will do it again. How long would it last for you?
Until you catch one cleanly.
Okay, and you're right back in the saddle.
We talked about lying to yourself when you're hitting. As a catcher, you got to lie to yourself, too, that I can catch this ball, even though there's still a little bit of doubt in the back of your mind that I might whiff another one. And it's the only position where everyone's staring at you. Every person on the field is staring at you, hoping that you don't do it again.
One backed up on McCarthy and is being foul. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And Grandal's a little afraid right now to call that sinker because of the trouble he's had with it. He's been a bunch of breaking balls in a row here to Cain.
Well, that's a problem because the issues McCarthy has had have been on the cutter and the 4-seam. And if you think Grandal's having an issue with a sinker, that leaves only the curve between them that they feel good about.
That was a good sinker, but he left it out over the plate, so Cain was able to get a piece of it. The one that McCarthy throws for his out pitch is the one that starts on the inner third and runs off. And those are also the ones that Grandal has missed. So as a pitcher, you see that. You don't want that to happen again.
And as a hitter, if you've been watching, you can eliminate that pitch.
A pop-up. And foul ground at first. Bellinger has room, and the inning is over. The Royals get one thanks to some sloppy pitching and then sloppy catching from Grandal. Halfway home in a 1-run game. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by Boost Mobile. It's a nice image right now, isn't it, boys?
It's cool, I'll tell you. I wish I was there.
No, you want to be right next to me
I
right
want to be
now.
here. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about weather-wise, right?
98 degrees here in downtown Los Angeles.
You can add a few more in this booth.
Oh, at least a few. Corey Seager leading off this 5th inning, and apparently it is the new record. Previous record set 131 years ago. So you guys are part of history.
Stay hot.
What's the water temperature right now?
It's a strike. The fact that you think one of us would know the answer to that, I'm not sure why.
Well, Eric's a big beach guy. I figured he was out there surfing and hanging out, letting his hair flow.
Well, no, I've been out in Arizona the last week and a half. Youth baseball. Shout out to Benny Bonilla and Shane Schumacher, who guided the TB SoCal 14U team to the championship, USA Baseball. Congrats to them.
And there is no water in Arizona, so I don't think he can answer your question.
I'll tell you what. Yeah, how about you? Well, we'll wait for Bellinger to come up because I was.
Seager chases strike 3, 1 away in the 5th.
We were talking earlier. I mean, a fireman out in Arizona. So what happens when there's a fire now and it's 120 degrees and you're called? You got to put on that outfit like Bellinger's father and go put out a fire. That's hot. There he is. Enjoying some nice warm weather here.
He's been here all week throwing batting practice to Cody, getting ready to pitch to him in the home run derby next Monday.
It's been so hot in Arizona. There's been pictures on social media of trash cans melting and just all kinds of crazy things because of the 125, 130 degree temperatures out there.
1 ball and no strikes on Justin Turner. Kennedy back home. And a high drive down the left field line. It's hooking and it is foul. Melting trash cans? We talking like the plastic Kirby?
Yes.
Wow.
It's so hot that I guess if they sit in the sun, they'll melt, and plastic melts when it gets hot, and it did it.
Dumpster fire.
Plastic melts when it gets hot.
Yeah, I've heard.
A lot of things melt when it gets hot, right?
Here's the 1-1. Ball 2. And Kennedy, 80 pitches deep. He's a beach guy. Huntington Beach native here in Southern California. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Something you rarely see Justin Turner do, go out of the strike zone and swing at a pitch. And Ian Kennedy's done a nice job of keeping the Royals in this game, giving up some runs early, but throwing up some zeros, and now they're right there, 3-2 down a run with a chance to get back in it.
Well, I noticed, too, you've got the shadows that are going to play a role here for the next few innings.
Is that a big deal here?
Oof. This is one of the worst places.
Yeah.
Here, Milwaukee's probably the worst when they have the roof closed and it's a day game because of the panels, but this is a close second.
A payoff to Turner. Reaches out, pokes it on the ground to Hosmer at first. Time for a game break. We say hello to Kevin Burkhardt.
First baseman, Cody Bellinger.
There's your water temperature, Brzezinski.
I knew there'd be somebody in California that knew the water temperature. That's too cold to go in. I'm in Florida. We got 82-degree water temperature. That's too cold, 68. You got to wear a wetsuit.
Milwaukee's still out in front of the Central as Cody Bellinger looks at a strike. What do you think? Are the Brewers for real to hang around in that division, or is it still the Cubs to lose?
I think that they believe that they're real, so they are. Their pitching has been that good. I don't think anybody else in that division has asserted themselves. I'm not sure that the Cubs are going to make this run that everybody has expected. And quite frankly, again, the Brewers, they've got some legitimate pitching. And they're playing well. They're athletic. That right now, that becomes really a two-team race.
tough loss for the Brewers today, getting walked off in New York on a home run, but World Series hangover. We talked about Cleveland not doing what people thought. The Royals, after they won, had a tough year. There's something to that. I'd let Eric talk about his World Series hangover, but he never had one, so we had it.
That is a low blow.
We had it in 2006 after we won in 2005 with the White Sox. The next year, something was off. Something was a little bit different, and you can't explain it.
But there were a lot of things that went right for the Cubs last year. A lot of things. And you could argue that in each of the postseason series, you know, a play here or a play there, they don't advance on to the next one.
Ian Kennedy's really settled in. He's retired 6 in a row, working this 1, 2, 3 fifth. Referee this little shot taken going on next to me here. Eric Karros hit home run number 284 of his career against the Kansas City Royals while he was in Oakland A. The only reason to bring that up is because if AJ's going to take a shot about having won a World Series and you didn't, then I'm just going to remind him that you hit more home runs than he did. Strike one on Eric Hosmer. And graphics department is going to help me.
Yeah, but he was a big home run hitter. You know, I was more of a singles, stolen base kind of guy.
Yeah. Stolen base. Oh, my. All good, all good.
Hey, there's a lot of things Eric has that I don't know. Rookie of the year.
The hair.
The hair. Mike Piazza's personal line when he needs them.
All-time leading home run hitter in Los Angeles Dodgers history. Middle part of the order against Brandon McCarthy here in the 6th inning in a 1-run game. An 0-2 to Eric Hosmer. Inside for a ball. Hosmer 1 for 2. He's extended his hitting streak to 14 games. Royals getting single runs in each of the last 2 innings after McCarthy gave up just 1 base runner over the first 3. 2-2.
And the misses for McCarthy have gotten a little bit bigger than earlier in the game. He was just missing on or off the plate. Now that you see him, he's starting to spray it a little bit more.
Up the middle, base hit into right center to open the 6th inning for Eric Hosmer. Oh, the 2nd hit of the game for him. And Kansas City has the tying run on base. Here's Sal Perez.
You know, what amazes me about Sal is the durability and the fact that he wants to be out there every day. Ned Yost runs him out there every day. Still is able to produce.
Saw Drew Butera, his backup, before the game, and I was like, you got the best job in the world. You never have to play.
Well, the Butera's had a good year when he has played. McCarthy misses badly here for ball one, and I think part of the reason Perez is having one of his best seasons is he is getting a few more days of rest than normal.
Ned Yost said he's going to give him tomorrow off. In our meeting, he said, I'm going to give him tomorrow off because he has the festivities, fly to cross country to Miami and participate in the All-Star game on Tuesday night.
Not a bad day to get off either, as far as Kershaw being on the mound.
1 o'clock start time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Think it'll be warm here tomorrow?
Yeah. It's going to be.
Let me know how it is.
And you'll let AJ know what the water temperature is.
I'm going to be in the water in Florida, so I'll shoot you guys a text.
Perez pulls one into the hole. Seager goes to second. One. They go the long way for a double play. 6-4-3 to wipe them clear.
Well, that's Seager and Chase Utley knowing who is running at the plate right there. They've got time. Utley, again, gathers himself, makes a good, strong throw. You've got Sal doing his best to get down to first base. He's running as fast as he can.
Those darn speedy catchers.
I was going to say, just like AJ, he's a singles and stolen base kind of guy.
When you were talking about stolen bases, were you talking about stealing them or giving them up?
Well, both.
Both.
More giving them up than stealing them.
Ball one on Moustakas.
I gave up a whole lot of those stolen bases.
It's off the pitch. It's off the pitcher,
Always
right? Isn't that?
Oh, whoa.
That's what I heard the other day, right? In Chicago.
That didn't work out so well for Montero. Especially when you got Arrieta, a guy that won a Cy Young.
Off a bounce, Bellinger will take it to the bag, and the inning is over. To the bottom of the sixth, the Dodgers in front of the Royals, 3-2. Bottom of the sixth inning, Chris Taylor stands in against Ian Kennedy, who gets strike one. Kennedy has settled in, retiring the last 6. 32 years old, out of right here in Southern California, from Huntington Beach, and then on to USC for his college ball. Yankees drafted him out of there in the first round. From the Yankees to Arizona to San Diego for a few years, so he's faced the Dodgers a bunch, being in the National League West for a good chunk of his career. 2-1 on Taylor. A 2-1. Taylor shows bunt, takes ball 3. One really good year for Ian Kennedy, 2011. This guy went 21-4 with Arizona, had a sub-3 ERA, finished top 5 in Cy Young voting. And then another good year last year in his first year in Kansas City. Taylor gets under it, and the count is full.
Well, as you mentioned, he's been throwing better as of late. You've got Vargas, Duffy's returned. But those are a formidable 3 starters. Run those guys out. You've got the athleticism, the offense, Herrera closing. There isn't a reason why they can't get to the playoffs.
He strikes out Taylor to open the 6th. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by KFC's Extra Crispy Chicken. It's extra crispy good. And by Chevy, the only brand to earn JD Power Dependability Awards for cars, trucks, and SUVs 2 years in a row. Kennedy's retired 7 straight now. Ready to go against Joc Pederson, whose 2-run homer back in the 2nd inning. The key shot in this one right now. Strike 1.
AJ, with these shadows, as a catcher, would that impact what you would call, or did you just stay with whatever the game plan was?
Absolutely, it affects it. Spin is hard to see, and changes in velocity, meaning changeups.
That's through the box, into center, base hit for Pederson.
So changeups looks like a fastball coming out of the pitcher's hand. Well, the hitter just sees it out of his hand, and then it goes into the shadow. So if it's slower, they have less time to adjust and less time to see the changeup. Therefore, for me, that was always the most effective pitch when the shadows were really bad. If you have a guy that has a really good changeup in shadows, as the opposing team, you're in for a long, long day.
Alexander Warman in the Kansas City bullpen. In the bottom of the 6th with the Dodgers in front 3-2. It's Yasmani Grandal. A pop-up. Grandal cracks his bat, slamming it to the ground as the second baseman Merrifield puts it away. 2 gone.
I've done this a few times. Frustration from missing a couple balls, missing a pitch you think you should hit. You're not mad at anyone except yourself. Eric Karros never did that because he hit all those homers.
Look at that. No, I did that many times right there.
Snapping. It's a great feeling for about 3 seconds when you do that, and then you see the highlight of yourself and you feel like an idiot. Why did I do that? But at the time, it feels great.
2 outs for Puig. You're telling me there were times you went back and saw one of your tantrums and thought to yourself, I didn't look that good there?
Well, it really hits home when your kid asks you why you threw your helmet or why you, once, true story, when my kid started playing baseball, he hits the ball and he kind of throws his bat, and the coach goes, son, we don't throw our bat. And he goes, well, I see my dad do it all the time. Wow. So that's kind of when it hits home that, okay, maybe this isn't the right move here.
EK, what was your go-to snap?
Just what Grandal did. I take the helmet when I go back and I just slam it into the helmet rack a couple times.
I learned my lesson on that one too. I've hit myself in the nose.
I was going to say, you got it. There's an art to that, though. That wasn't just recklessly slamming my helmet. There was an art to where you held the helmet, you could make the loudest noise, you could get the most out of it, but it was controlled.
On the 100th pitch of the night, Kennedy strikes out Puig, his 7th of the game. On to the late innings in LA. All-Star Futures game on MLB Network, followed by the T-Mobile Home Run Derby on ESPN Monday. And then it all leads up to the can't-miss event of the summer, the MLB All-Star Game, Tuesday at 7:30 Eastern on Fox. Brandon McCarthy's day is finished. Brandon Morrow comes in, and he has been really good for the Dodgers since they called him up in early June.
Well, you look at the 1 walk, 16 strikeouts. His arm is electric.
He's always had electric stuff. He just never could stay healthy. As a starter in Toronto, just a hate facing this guy. He throws the hardest slide, one of the hardest sliders in the game.
Starts Escobar with a strike. And it has not been necessarily out of the middle of nowhere that the Dodgers have gotten Morrow. It's a guy with quite a track record, former top 10 overall pick, who just has dealt with injury issues. Escobar starts the inning with a base hit against him. A leadoff single for Alcides Escobar here in the 7th.
Left fielder Alex Gordon.
They know all about Clayton Kershaw around here. Brandon Morrow is actually picked 2 spots ahead of Kershaw.
Look at those guys. Andrew Miller, great reliever now with the Indians. Tim Lincecum used to give the Dodgers fits. And then, oh, by the way, number 11, you know who that guy is?
He's had some pretty memorable games in his career. 20 strikeouts, couple no-hitters. Cy Young Award winner.
I mean, one of the best, if not the best, pitching right now. He's in a stretch where he is just dominant.
Alex Gordon takes ball 1. Hochevar out with a thoracic outlet syndrome issue still. Likely will not pitch this year. The number 1 pick that year. The year before, the Dodgers actually drafted him with their first-round selection, but couldn't come to terms.
When Hochevar went to the bullpen, he always had really, really good stuff. But when he went to the bullpen, it took a step up. And his cutter he was throwing, which he never really threw as a starter. He was more of a sinker changeup guy when he was a starter. But when the Royals put him in the bullpen a couple years ago, his stuff went through the roof. And he was just not a fun at bat because he would just cut me up under my hands at 92, 93 miles an hour. There was nothing I could do about it.
He was part of that bullpen, too, that would lead to Herrera and then Davis and then Holland. I mean, really the backbone for the World Series appearances, let alone the World Series championship in 2015.
Gordon pops one back, and it's 1-2. Royals want to get Alex Gordon going. 0 for 2 in this one. Yeah, hitting below 200 on this season here in the 2nd year of his contract. Still under control for another couple years. Team record deal that he signed. Escobar at first to start the inning. And a 1-2 from Brandon Morrow. Gordon lays off a high fastball, and the count evens up.
I'm surprised Escobar hasn't made it at least an attempt to try to steal second base. You have the pitcher on deck. Maybe they're trying to keep the hole open for Alex Gordon to give him a chance at first and third, but Morrow's not the quickest guy to the plate, and Escobar can steal bases for you.
A conservative lead. And Kennedy is in the on-deck circle, having thrown 100 pitches. See if that's a bluff or if he will indeed hit for himself.
I got to believe they've got Moss on the bench. Good power guy, left-handed hitter. Getting into not many outs left. And you got to figure you're working backwards because Kenley throws the 9th. Here's Moss right there. He's got a helmet and a bat.
It also depends on what happens with 3-2 pitch to Alex Gordon. If he walks, they might use Kennedy to bunt him over.
I mean, the only reason you wouldn't is you could argue he's an American League guy, and he hasn't been getting at bats. I know he pitched in the National League, but I got to take my chances with Moss. But you're right. What are we getting here? A fastball, 3-2. Kansas City, a fastball hitting team. What are you calling?
Slide step. That's a slide step. That looks like either cutter or sinker. The thumb and the finger is usually a cutter or a sinker.
Yeah.
And that was a cutter.
Yeah.
It was interesting, though. Grandal kind of set up in the middle. Usually a cutter you want to set up in under a guy's hands, or if you're trying what they call backdoor cutter, you set up away, but he set up right down the middle.
Do you set up there so the pitcher starts the pitch there, or is that where you're kind of in a situation like that, or no?
No. That just must be where Morrow wants him to set up in order that he feels comfortable to throw it for a strike.
Right.
So that's a fastball inside to Alex Gordon.
It gets him swinging, left it over the plate, but you can do that when it's 99. 1 out.
Well, you're exactly right. I mean, you set up inside, looking for that inside fastball. As you mentioned, Joe, when you're throwing 99, you can miss location. Still get away with it.
And it was a bluff. Here comes Moss. And Kennedy's day will officially be over as soon as Moss steps into the batter's box and is introduced here.
Really a nice job by both starting pitchers today. You know, McCarthy and Kennedy laboring in this weather, and good stuff.
Rick Honeycutt, the pitching coach, comes out. With Brandon Moss ready to hit, they'll deliver the scouting report here.
The reason Brandon Moss is hitting here instead of as a bluff is they need someone to put one in the seats. Give him the lead.
Yeah, that's what they signed him for, losing Kendrys Morales, who ended up signing with Toronto. The Moss just has not produced like they had hoped. I mean, the reality is he gets up there and he's swinging for one thing, the fence. You see the 10 home runs, only 16 RBI.
One of the worst seasons of his career after what was one of the best last year in St. Louis. Didn't hit for much average, but 28 home runs, just short of a career high. They hoped together with Jorge Soler they would add some pop to the lineup, but neither guy has really panned out in that regard. Pinch hitting, representing the go-ahead run in the 7th. He takes ball 1 from Morrow.
Well, he's got a pretty simple approach. He's looking for a certain spot, and he's looking to do one thing: yank it in the right field seats. Pitcher knows that. Very rarely are they going to attack him inside. It's going to be basically, if he gets a hold of something, it's going to be a missed location.
Cutter coming.
It's hit foul, and it's 1-1 with the Dodgers playing him heavily to pull. Only Corey Seager left on the left side of the infield.
And with the shift, the giant shift on, this is where I know Brandon Moss wants to try to hit one in the seats, but this is where it drives a lot of baseball people crazy, that he just cannot bunt and get himself a hit and turn the lineup over to the top of their order with guys on base.
The thing is, though, when you talk about bunting, everybody says, well, why can't he just bunt? Well, it's not going into the batting cage and bunting the 50-mile-an-hour fastball or the coach lobbing it in there. This is Brandon Morrow throwing 99 miles an hour. You know, it's not as simple as, oh, yeah, just get it down. Oh, yeah, back when I played, I just lay the bunt down.
Grandal wants it up and gets it there, but it's taken for a ball. And for a lot of power hitters, that's exactly what the defense wants you to do. They want to be able to limit your power. You're kind of playing into the defense's hands by not taking a hack here.
Well, we saw Bellinger bunt last night for a hit. You can do it if you want to do it. That's half of bunting, is wanting to bunt.
2-2.
What do we got? 2-2. Are you going with the 99-mile-an-hour fastball away or the 92-mile-an-hour cutter in on your back foot?
If you're going fastball, it better be up, because Brandon Moss is a dead low ball hitter. And if you're going cutter, you better get it in, off the plate.
Fastball up and away.
Looks like they have the same scouting report AJ does. The 2-2. Taken high at 99, and the count is full.
That was the same pitch that got Alex Gordon. Fastball up, out over the plate. I expect Escobar to be on the move here, because even if strike him out, throw him out, you have the top of the order leading off next inning in Merrifield. Slide step cutter.
Escobar runs. It's inside, ball 4, and the Royals have the tying run in scoring position. And the go-ahead run on base with 1 away here in the 7th.
Second baseman number 15, Whit Merrifield.
Really good at bat for Brandon Moss. Fastball just takes it away. Then a cutter. Good one to hit. He wishes he had that one back. Another missed cutter. Cutter he wishes again he could get back to hit. Great take, 2-2 on a high fastball. And then a pitch that was really non-competitive by Morrow. An easy take for Brandon Moss as it cuts off the plate on a 3-2 count. He draws a walk, and the Royals are in business.
One of their best opportunities of the day. 2 on with 1 out. The top of the order coming up. Good speed at second, representing the tying run. Whit Merrifield is 1 for 3. Doubled and scored the second Royals run back in the 5th inning. Bouncing ball. That is through for a base hit. Escobar headed home. Taylor's throw to the plate. Nowhere close, and Kansas City's tied it. On a base hit from Whit Merrifield.
Whit Merrifield continuing the trends of these Royals hitters, swinging at the first pitch. Gets a fastball, shoots it through that hole. You see Escobar, he's running all the way. No second thoughts there, sending him all the way.
And give Ian Kennedy credit. He got pinch hit for in this inning, but he kept him in the game. Now they're tied with a chance here to take the lead in the 7th.
So the Royals with 3 single-run innings to come back from down 3-0. And now the 2-hitter, Jorge Bonifacio. Strike 1, fell off the table. Kansas City's been able to take advantage of their opportunities. The Dodgers not at all. Getting a 2-run shot from Pederson in the 2nd, and a run in the 3rd on a sacrifice fly from Turner. Oh, 0-2. Pedro Baez loosening in the Dodger pen.
And the Dodgers just have all these guys coming out of their pen throwing fuel, 95 and above. Morrow throwing 99. Baez is another guy that throws high 90s. It's not often you can look down there and see Kenley Jansen, who cuts it up there to measly 93 miles an hour, and be like, man, you're a soft thrower, Kenley.
Two on, 1 out, 7th inning in a tie game. Brandon Morrow's 1-2. That's a base hit to left. Taylor's up with it. They hold the runners, and the bases are loaded. Moss doesn't run nearly as well as Escobar does, and that ball was hit firmly enough for no question. Station to station, bases loaded with 1 out.
Center fielder number 6, Lorenzo Cain.
And it looks like that is going to do it for Brandon Morrow. Here comes Dave Roberts. Headed for home plate umpire Bill Miller. With a double switch likely here. Tied at 3 here in the 7th. Royals with the bases loaded and 1 out. back with 3 runs after trailing 3-0 after 3 innings. Ian Kennedy kept him in it with the 3 runs allowed over his 6 innings. Brandon McCarthy was sharp for the Dodgers, allowing just 1 run over 6. But the Royals have gotten to the Dodger bullpen here in the 7th inning with a run against Morrow and the bases loaded, still with just 1 out. Yasmani Grandal just stepped down into the Dodger dugout. Yasiel Puig has been taken out in a double switch. Kike Hernandez in right. And they now have Austin Barnes suited up. So Austin Barnes coming into the game to catch. And Yasmani Grandal in the Dodger dugout, talking with the trainer Nathan Lucero. Puig now talking with the hitting coach Turner Ward.
I think he's just trying to understand what happened with the double switch. I don't think they anticipated Grandal coming out. Looked like they were looking at his thumb, and we saw earlier in the game he had some trouble catching some Brandon McCarthy sinkers.
And he heads down into the tunnel with Nathan Lucero, the trainer, following. So Puig out by design in the double switch. Grandal out, it appears, as something injury related. Barnes comes in to catch. And half of the Dodger bench eliminated right there in that one move. Pedro Baez, the new Dodger pitcher, and he's thrown right into the fire here.
We know he throws hard, and he's not afraid to take his time.
No, he's not. He's one of the slowest pitchers in all of Major League Baseball. And we had talked about how good of a citizen Puig had been the whole year, and now he goes and blows up in a pretty logical double switch. He made the last out of the inning, and that's usually the guy you double switch for, and it just happened to be him, but he didn't like it a whole lot.
Well, we gotta assume that was it, right? You know, it was probably he didn't understand what was going on, and always emotional when you get taken out of a game.
And so with the bases loaded and 1 out in the 7th, Lorenzo Cain comes to the plate. And back on June 10th, out west here, hit a home run against Jose Torres. And then 2 innings later, came up again and hit a grand slam in this situation. Second grand slam of his career. Here he get the job done in a number of ways, with the game tied at 3 and just 1 out.
All they're looking for is a fly ball right now. Take that, don't get greedy. As a hitter, you're looking for something up in the zone. As a right-handed hitter, shoot something to right center or think right center.
Moss is at third. He walked. Merrifield tied the game with a base hit, and Bonifacio has loaded them up with a base hit of his own. Baez, who has pitched in high leverage situations all season, gets ready to face Cain, who takes ball 1. Here comes the 1-0. That's pop foul. 1 ball and 1 strike.
A measly 97 miles an hour from Baez.
Change up from what Morrow is pumping in there.
Exactly. He's looking for something up, but when you throw it 97, you throw it up. It's hard to get on top of that ball and put it into play.
The thing is, a hitter right now in this situation, you don't want to get greedy. Be happy with the single, shoot it to right center. But it's tough to do with the bases loaded. You get into that mentality, man, I'm going to clock something here, maybe hit a grand slam or a bases clearing double. And that's where the discipline comes in. You know, the great hitters are able to tone it down, minimize the magnitude of the situation. 1 and 2 against Baez, you are battling to make contact right now. Shoot it to right center.
Baez gunning for a strikeout with the bases loaded and 1 gone. His 1-2 upstairs for ball 2, touching 98 this time.
Good take by Kane after swinging at the previous 2 up there and fouling them back. Gets the 2 strikes and calmed down a little bit and took the same pitch for a ball.
On 2-2, Kane drives it foul. Royals an American League best 18-7 over the last month. Enter the day 2 back of the Indians in the Central. Dodgers have won 24 of their last 28 games, tied with the Houston Astros for the most wins in baseball. Baez home with another 2-2. Strike 3 called over the outside corner. 98 on the edge for out number 2.
Just an absolutely perfect pitch. Perfectly executed with a lot of velocity behind it.
Barnsley does a nice job behind home plate. He's selling that pitch to umpire Bill Miller. That's a good 3-4 inches off the plate. Bill Miller excited about how close it was to home plate. Rings him up.
It's a bad feeling as a hitter when you especially when Fox has the high home. You can go back in the dugout and in the tunnel and see just how far off it was. It makes you so frustrated.
Up to Hosmer now, and he takes ball 1.
Especially as a hitter, you're up there battling. Tough enough to hit any big league pitcher, let alone some guy throwing 98 and then doesn't have to throw it over the plate and gets a call.
And Kane's thinking, that's a ball.
Yeah.
I should still be up there, 3-2. Instead, he's in the dugout tossing his equipment around.
And the pressure falls on Hosmer's shoulders. Bases loaded, 2 out, a 1-0. Fouls it back 1-1.
Hosmer, a high ball hitter, but when it's 98, 99 miles an hour, it's a bit more difficult.
And nothing but high heaters from Baez since he's come into the game. Just rear back and throw it as hard as you can and see if they can hit it.
Moss at third, Merrifield at second, Bonifacio at first. Royals have not led in this game. The set for the 1-1. 2 balls and a strike. Sal Perez on deck. On 2-1, Eric Hosmer takes ball 3 with nowhere to put him in a tie game in the 7th.
Interesting pitch selection. 2-1, bases loaded, throw nothing but fastballs. Your first off-speed pitch is a ball. Now you're behind 3-1 to a dead fastball hitter with a guy you know is going to throw a fastball. So an interesting choice by Austin Barnes and Baez right there.
Barnes, who has just checked in with Yasmani Grandal leaving during the pitching change with an injury. The 3-1. Strike 2. Runners will take off with a 3-2. He cracks his bat on a roller to first. Bellinger stumbles but reaches the bag. Baez and the Dodgers out of a bases loaded jam into 7th. The Royals get 1 to tie it at 3. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by Cricket Wireless, something to smile about, and by the all-new 2017 Jeep Compass. And just a moment ago, Lorenzo Cain, who was unhappy with a strike 3 called last inning for the second out of the inning, was thrown out of this game by Bill Miller. I don't think Cain even ever made it out to center field to start this inning. He made a stop by home plate, and that'll be the last stop he makes before heading back to the clubhouse.
I mean, that happens. You're running out to your position, and you're still frustrated. And that, look at that could be game changer right there. The magnitude of that call. Again, you're emotionally invested as a player, and look at Bill Miller's doing the best job he can do out there. The reality is that pitch, though, was off the plate. Lorenzo, he expressed his frustration, and Bill Miller wasn't hearing it. All you got to do is just watch the way Austin Barnes pulls it back 2 or 3 inches. You know, as a hitter, you're up there battling and battling and
Bill Miller walked over towards the first base side, which is the Royals dugout. He could have walked over to the third base side and taken all of it away, but as Cain's going to his position, he sees Bill Miller standing there, wants to have a little chat with him, and it ends up him being run. We showed the frustration of him the inning before after punching out on a pitch he thought was a ball, and it just carries over to when you're going to take the field. You see the umpire standing there, so why not stop by and have a chat?
Let me ask you something. As a catcher, did you ever, when the pitch was not on, when it was on the plate, when the pitch was a strike on the plate, did you move your glove to make it a better looking strike?
I did, because I was so bad back there.
Kike Hernandez to lead off this 7th against the new Royals pitcher Mike Minor, and he delivers strike 1. Minor's been really good for Kansas City in his first big league year in 3 years. He missed 2 full seasons following shoulder surgery, having last pitched in 2014 in Atlanta. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the 1-1. Good rip, foul tip, strike 2. So we will reset the defense for you in a minute here, but some shuffling around having to be done by Ned Yost, with Cain getting thrown out. Hernandez starting this 7th with a floater into center. That is caught by a sliding Gordon, who introduces himself to his new position, having slid over from left field to replace Cain. But Merrifield went from second base to left.
Second baseman number 26.
And he was replaced at second by Torres. So back to the top of the Dodger order, and here's Chase Utley. He's 1 for 3 today. Scored the Dodgers' last run back in the 3rd. Strike 1. Minor, a guy that you cross paths with, AJ, in your time in Atlanta.
It's nice to see Mike Minor back pitching in the big leagues. When I was with him in Atlanta, it was in spring training, so I guess you can call him an ex-teammate even though he never pitched. So got to know him. He had some shoulder problems when he was at Atlanta. Royals took a flyer on him, and he's been an integral part of their bullpen, especially on this hot streak for him. Out of Vanderbilt, the new college baseball factory these days.
Here comes his 1-1. Utley drives one the other way. Merrifield is there. Of course, as usual, you move to a new spot and the ball finds you. It has with Gordon in center and Merrifield in left. So I guess it would only reason that Corey Seager's about to ground out to the second baseman Torres. Seager 1 for 3 on the afternoon. Ball 1.
There's no doubt in Mike Minor's stuff. Throws hard from the left side. Good slider. It's always a question of health, as it is with so many guys.
1-2. Three-year-old shortstop Corey Seager waits on this 1-2 and looks at strike three as Mike Minor rolls to the Dodgers here in the 7th. On to the 8th, locked at 3. Royals have scored 3 in a row after the Dodgers led 3-0. MLB.TV every night, every device. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live and get a free subscription to At-Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. 8th inning, Salvador Perez taking ball 1 from Pedro Baez, who stays in after getting out of the jam in the 7th on only 12 pitches. Perez, the 5-time All-Star. Driving a pitch foul. It's 1-1. Signed out of Venezuela when he was 17. Back in 2007. They have him under contract for a long time. And so while there are all these pieces nearing the ends of their deals, they have Gordon for another couple years. They have Perez through 2021. Two and 1. Fan favorite in Kansas City.
Kansas City, nice gesture by renegotiating, extending his contract. He was signed to a very team-friendly deal.
Absurdly team-friendly.
Yeah. At one time, it was the worst contract in baseball.
From the player's
player
perspective.
side.
How about your boy up north in San Francisco, Madison Bumgarner?
Yeah, that one's not good.
That
for
is no bueno for Madison.
For the Giants, it's a great contract.
Oh,
They're like, oh, yeah, we'll do this every time. But those are the risks of signing a player, and as a player, signing a contract when you're young, and you never know what you could become.
High drive to left center field. Salvador Perez. Joc Pederson can't get it. And a solo shot puts Kansas City in front. The Royals have scored 4 in a row. And on Perez's 18th home run of the season, they have their first lead of the afternoon.
I mean, he can just flat out play. Flat out play. I remember Frank Thomas, our cohort, a couple years ago, talking about how this guy is going to be a guy that's going to be one of the best catchers in the game and could be in the Hall of Fame. And you know how Frank gets going and everything. And he starts talking, and I'm the Frank, come on. I'm telling you, the beginning of his career, he's well on his way.
After playing with Frank and working on the whip around last week with Frank, I know very well how he can get going. But he is correct in Salvador Perez. He has a chance to be a Hall of Fame player. He's got a World Series under his belt. 5-time All-Star. Started a bunch of All-Star games. And just kind of hitting the tip of the iceberg in his offensively. He's always been great defensively, but offensively.
Here's a 2-0 to Moustakas. It's 2-1. We go back to that Perez home run.
And you see, they wanted a high fastball. Completely misses location. Out over the plate.
Pederson didn't miss it by much.
No.
A 2-1. Nice pitch, 2-2.
Pedro Baez lived by the fastball, died by the fastball. Kept throwing the fastballs up, and Salvador Perez is just sitting over there watching, and he made the adjustment and got to it with 2 strikes and gave the Royals the lead.
Foul ground on the left side. Seager has room, and Moustakas the first out.
Just loads up and drives through the ball. Joc Pederson, that's, as a hitter, you just hope he doesn't come up with it.
And Baez was hoping that he would come up with it. That ball hit the top of the wall? Is there like another little thing behind that wall?
It's just a very wide top of the wall. Beyond that, there's room to bounce. Alcides Escobar taking ball 1.
The home run was the definition of a wall scraper.
Doesn't matter how far they go, though, right? I mean.
This Dodger bullpen that has been the best in the National League this year. And last night, 4 innings, just 1 hit, no runs. Tonight has given up 2 runs on 4 hits over 1 1/3.
You guys see the Dodgers more than I do. Is there any worry of Dodgers of overwork of their bullpen? Last night, Maeda only went 5 innings. Today, McCarthy 6 innings. It seems to be a theme that, other than Kershaw, they don't get deep, really, really deep into games. You don't see a lot of 7, 8 inning lines for the Dodgers. And Dave Roberts talking to him, he wants to get to the bullpen, I understand, but also there's a fatigue factor for these guys.
Well, and it's one of the things that, you know, starting pitchers for the most part not named Kershaw or Wood this year, that third time around the lineup, there's usually some struggle. So the thought is 2 times through, maybe 3, but get to that bullpen. And there are a ton of options down there, and there are a ton of options in Oklahoma City. And, you know, the Dodgers have utilized the entire 40-man roster. I'm not sure that that's going to change.
And no team has used the new 10-day DL more to their benefit than the Dodgers by having basically 8 starters, 9 starters, and this guy is a little bit off. We'll give him a 10-day break and maybe only miss 1 start, and here he comes again.
You figure that's sort of what they did with Brandon McCarthy, right? You know, he had a little struggles, and you know, let's put him on the DL, go work on it, then come back for your next start.
Ryu, we just showed, is another guy on the DL.
Look, that's an option that.
Escobar base hit into center. Pederson slides to cut it off, hold him to a single.
You know, getting back to that, that's an option that the Dodgers have, and every club has. Now, if you're a team that has the economic wherewithal to have 7 or 8 or 9 starting pitchers, then obviously the DL, the 10-day DL, better suits you.
Pedro Baez leaves the game after allowing the go-ahead home run to sell Perez, and Luis Avilan comes in.
And your attention, please. Now pitching.
FS1, the Reds and the Diamondbacks. What a year the Diamondbacks are having. Paul Goldschmidt having an MVP caliber year. The Diamondbacks in second place in the division, chasing the Dodgers by 5.5 games. Joey Votto on the other side, heck of a year himself. Luis Avilan on to face Alex Gordon with a man at first and 1 gone. That's ball 1. This is a guy that you had in Atlanta as well, AJ.
I just have ex-teammates everywhere, apparently.
You do.
This guy is more of he's a changeup left-handed thrower. So against lefties, he struggles a little bit because he eliminates his changeup. He won't throw. We tried to get him to throw it a lot more to lefties, and he just didn't feel comfortable doing it. And Dave Roberts acknowledged before the game that they might be on the lookout for a pure left-handed reliever to try to get some big left-handers out in big situations, and it makes sense because being a left-handed hitter, when I saw that lefty reliever warming up, it scared me a little bit because I was like, oh no, I got to go face whoever that guy is coming out of the bullpen throwing 95 with a slider. Sometimes he can embarrass you.
Well, and you have to start looking, what are we going to need in the postseason? And for the Dodgers, the path is going to probably be through Washington. You've got Bryce Harper, you've got Daniel Murphy, 2 strong left-handed hitters. Chicago gets there. You've got Rizzo. Schwarber is back. Heck, you've got Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Eric Thames. I mean, you got to have that guy that strikes some fear in you from the left side, or that is an uncomfortable at bat.
Gordon strikes out swinging. Sergio Romo getting ready to go.
I did not play with him. Just
so
for the
there's
record.
one of them.
Did you face him? Did you ever face him?
I don't think that I did.
Dave Roberts going to call on him to face the right-handed batting Jorge Soler, who's due to pinch hit with a man at first and 2 gone here in the 8th. The top of the 8th inning, Grip the Moment, sponsored by Falcon Tires, the official tire of Major League Baseball. All-Star game coming up. Sal Perez will be there again. He homered in the All-Star game last year against Johnny Cueto. And it's his home run in this inning that has the Royals in front. Hit it off Pedro Baez to give Kansas City its first lead of the afternoon. It's 4-3. And Sergio Romo is on to face Jorge Soler.
Well, Romo's going to slider you, and then he's going to throw you a slider. Just looking on the outer part of the plate right now.
Let's say maybe expect a slider here. Yep.
And if you're hitting against a guy like this, you're looking for something out over the plate, but you're looking for something up. I mean, if he's throwing it down and away, you just wait till you get 2 strikes, but you hope that he makes a mistake. But if you're Soler right now, you're saying, I'm going to hit this ball to right center. I'm looking for something up and out over the plate.
Romo in his first year here with his old rival, longtime San Francisco Giant, winning 3 World Championships there. And signing a short-term deal with the Dodgers during this past offseason, and he has really struggled in his first year in LA. Is 1-1 to Soler. At the knees, strike 2.
Soler is a guy that Royals were counting on this year to provide them some offensive punch out in the outfield. He was traded for Wade Davis, one of the best closers in all of baseball, and injuries and poor performance have hampered his value so far for the Royals. But today in BP, he hit a ball out of the stadium, and I'm still can't believe the ball could go that far. He hit it out over the awning out in left center field, and EK was standing there, and he said that was the way he used to hit him when he was playing here.
Yeah. Right.
I was hitting from second base, so.
And they were golf balls, but, but it was still out.
Right over the State Farm, right in front of the State Farm.
Romo gets Soler looking to finish the Royals in the 8th. But Kansas City takes the lead and a homer from Perez. Turner, Bellinger, Taylor, 3, 4, and 5 coming up for the Dodgers. have scored 4 in a row and lead 4-3 to the bottom of the 8th inning. And look who's here. Sandy Koufax, one of the all-time greats, taking this one in.
Yeah, we had a chance to run into him down in the tunnel, AJ and I, and spoke to Sandy for a while. One of the true gentlemen, and also one of the best pitchers the game's ever seen.
Justin Turner flies the first pitch of the inning to right center field, and Alex Gordon catches it for the first out. On the first pitch that Joakim Soria throws, having a solid year in his second year of his second stint in Kansas City.
Soria's been a closer for many teams, many years, and been very effective. Setup guy now for Herrera. I mean, for me, the change of speeds. I mean, he can throw something, you know, in the 90s and then come back with something in the 60s.
Good strike one on Bellinger. Missed his spot, but it was right over the plate.
He does have one of the slowest curveballs.
Yeah.
And he usually puts it in a good spot. He has incredible control with it. With the pitch, it's such a difference in his speeds.
Yeah, there it is. I mean, you're looking at a 71-mile-an-hour pitch, and it's just been preceded by something 93.
Now, in the past, when I caught Joakim when I was in Texas,
Of course
he would throw a curveball and then he'd back it with a changeup. So let's see what they go here.
On 1-1 to Bellinger. Another curve.
Another curveball, but a lot of times he always liked to do that. And I never noticed it until I played with him, and he would always shake to change up after a curveball. And he got a ton of outs, and he got me out when I faced him when he was originally with Kansas City with that exact sequence.
The 2-1. Ball 3 on Bellinger.
What are we throwing here? Are we going with that slow curveball right now or a changeup?
No, I think he's gonna
I got changeup, right?
No, 3-1. He's gonna try and dot a fastball down and away and take his chances. Late in the game, you're a reliever. You never get beat inside.
Oh, changeup.
Going off speed. It was. Bellinger drilled it to left. Merrifield's back, and Cody Bellinger has tied the game in the 8th inning. The Rockies' 25th has even the issue at 4. So now Chris Taylor taking ball 1. Time and time again this year, this Dodger team has found a way. They've won 24 of their last 28 games. At 59 and 29, they have the best record in the National League by 5.5. Taylor hits it foul, 1-1.
Well, EK, you called changeup. Perez called changeup. Should have stuck with me and thrown the heater. Apparently Bellinger was looking for a changeup also.
That's what I'm saying. Good hitter right there. He was looking. He was thinking just like me.
3-1 changeup. Apparently that's why I was a bad hitter.
Dribbled foul, and it's 1-2. First home run in a couple weeks for Bellinger. Gone into a bit of a slump, but he gets Soria to tie it.
And remember, earlier in the game, he hit that double in basically the same area. That he went it to left center. You know, started all this. He had that bunt base hit last night against the Shift.
Taylor was the hero a couple of nights ago against Arizona.
Well, you talk about comebacks. You saw that against Fernando Rodney. We've been pretty darn good over the last 2 months. The Dodgers came back, a couple of walks, a couple of singles, and before you know it, ball game.
A couple of walks. I think it was 3 walks in a row, including walking a guy in. And
that's a couple.
Yeah,
a couple plus
stop
up.
nitpicking.
In the 9th inning with a 3-run lead, the last thing you want your closer to do is walk 3 guys, including walking a run in. It makes it real easy for a team to come back that way.
Soria's 1-2, and Taylor takes ball 2. You saw Kenley Jansen getting ready. And a tie game here in the 8th after Bellinger's homer. Dodgers trailed that game 4-1, you guys were talking about, going into the 9th. And scored 4 runs without Arizona recording an out. The 2-2, ball 3. Game-winning run came on Chris Taylor's base hit to left. All this talk about Cody Bellinger this year, coming up from the minors and doing what he's done, and for good reason, but Chris Taylor having a huge year as well after starting the year in AAA. Here's the payoff. A crack bat liner is caught. Soria with a heck of a grab, 2 gone.
Joc Pederson.
Yeah, here he goes with the fastball, just runs in, and Taylor hits that off the handle of the bat.
Jam. The straight jam shot. See Pete shrapnel flying all over the place at home plate.
And a tie game in the 8th with the bases empty and 2 out. Here's Joc Pederson. Started the scoring with a 2-run homer in the 2nd. Hits this one foul.
On the Royals, they'll have the top of the lineup coming up in that 9th inning. They're right where they want to be.
And it very well may be against Kenley Jansen in a tie game here. To try and give the Dodgers a chance in the bottom of the 9th. Here's an 0-1. Peterson hits a high fly ball to deep center. Gordon's on the track with room, and the inning is over. But after Perez put the Royals in front in the top of this inning, Bellinger ties it at 4 with a solo shot of his own. been a fun one today. Cody Bellinger tying the game at 4 with a solo homer in the bottom of the 8th after Sal Perez had put Kansas City in front with a solo shot of his own. And now in a tie game in the 9th, Kenley Jansen to Whit Merrifield, strike 1.
Well, you look at the dominance of Kenley Jansen, just not a lot of fun as a hitter to face. I mean, you know what you're going to get. You're getting that darn cutter, but you just can't seem to get the barrel to the ball.
Top of the Kansas City order against one of the game's great closers. 29-year-old Kenley Jansen deals 0-1. Merrifield hits it foul again, 0-2. Signed a 5-year, $80 million deal this offseason to stay with the Dodgers. Team that signed him initially as a catcher, converted him to pitcher, and he has blossomed into a stud. That's inside, ball 1.
You know, and it could come down to him and his decision this winter being the difference in who represents the National League in the World Series. Came down to the Nationals, Washington, and the Dodgers. We all know that the troubles that the Nationals have had the back end of their bullpen.
He gets Merrifield swinging, 1 out. Only 1 run charged to Kenley Jansen since late May. Came in a home run that he gave up earlier this week. Jorge Bonifacio with the bases empty and 1 out.
This guy is not fun to face, and it's his motion. Not only is it his stuff, but his motion. He throws the glove out in front of his face, then he follows it with almost a Kershaw-like pause in the middle of his windup, and then the ball just comes out from behind the glove.
And you look at it, that's 94, and that's not. No, but I'm saying that's not Baez 98, 99. So obviously there is some sort of deception. There's something of where he's delivering the ball. That's a big man as well.
Well, he's throwing the ball from about 20 feet closer than the average person.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, hard off of Barnes' mask. The Dodgers are already without Yasmani Grandal, who left with what is being termed as a left-hand contusion earlier.
How's that feel right there, AJ, huh?
It's a good feeling. You want that to happen in the first inning, so especially at a day game, so it wakes you up for the rest of the game, then your adrenaline gets pumping and you're going. But
shoot, any harder, that thing puts you right to sleep.
Not me, but
I mean, I mean the normal average man.
Yeah, the average person.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
Yes.
Humans.
Not someone of my stature, EK. I've taken a lot of those, and it scares you more than anything. Just the suddenness of it.
Did he offer? No swing. 1-2.
We showed Jansen's motion, and the front arm of a pitcher, the left arm in Kenley's case, is kind of what helps with deception. Because I used to call it like the pump fake, because you see the glove come through, so he's pump faking the hitter to mess up his timing, and then the ball comes behind it.
It's also added in a quick pitch, and it's pounded to deep center field. Pederson back onto the track to make a basket catch. 2 away in the 9th.
Joc Pederson gets a good jump on this. He's got a bit of an angle and then just tracks it down. And we've seen him make some spectacular catches out in center field over the last few years.
And now to the spot in the order that would have been Lorenzo Cain, but he was thrown out of the game, and instead it's Ramon Torres, who just made his major league debut a month ago. Strike 1. Jansen grips that cutter like it's a 4-seam. He said it's a blessing from above. Doesn't try to manipulate it at all. Doesn't try to cut it. This has that natural movement that he first noticed he had about a year into his time as a pitcher, 2010. He's quickly ahead. No balls and 2 strikes.
Well, not only does he have the movement, but he has the ability to locate. And for a power pitcher, he doesn't just rely on, I'm going to throw it by somebody or I'm just going to throw my cutter. He hits his spots.
And he's also started to incorporate a slider.
The new relief pitcher, cutters, curveball or breaking ball. That's the new wave. It's been for the last few years now. Almost all relievers. Mariano, thank you for making the cutter so popular. It broke a lot of my bats, but cutters and curveballs, that's become the in vogue way to pitch, especially out of the bullpen.
Herrera and Moylan both getting ready in the Kansas City bullpen. Here's Jansen home with a 1-2. For the Dodgers in the bottom of the ninth, they'll have Austin Barnes leading it off, then the pitcher's spot. And only 2 players left on Dave Roberts' bench. He has Grace Thompson, who's an outfielder, and infielder Logan Forsythe. Due up third will be Kike Hernandez. Two and two. Little jam shot down the left field line. Turner won't get there, and the count holds at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Dodgers led this game 3-0 after 3 innings, but the Royals getting single runs in the 4th, the 5th, the 7th, and the 8th. Cody Bellinger tying it with a solo homer in the bottom of the 8th. Another 2-2 from Jansen.
Doing a great job of just fighting off pitches and hoping at some point Kenley makes a mistake.
Well, when you're into July, almost at the All-Star break, 1 day away, you have a .96 ERA and a .56 WHIP. You're not making a whole lot of mistakes, so
there's always hope.
2 walks total this year from Jansen.
Torres is hoping right now.
On the 8th pitch, he flips it to left. Taylor is there, and Kenley Jansen works a 1-2-3 9th inning. The Dodgers will try to walk the Royals off when you come back. talking about it just a couple of nights ago. The Dodgers got their latest walk-off win after trailing 4-1. Going into the bottom of the ninth, they score 4 runs and win it on a Chris Taylor base hit. And they will try to do the same in this one. Tied at 4 to the bottom of the ninth inning. 5 walk-off wins this season, and 23 come from behind wins. This one would qualify because the Royals took the lead for a short time last inning. Peter Moylan, the new Kansas City pitcher. Yep. AJ caught him.
Got him too. Another one of my. This is becoming like a broken record.
Austin Barnes to lead off the inning. Strike 1. So what do you got on Moylan?
An Aussie that throws down under, so perfect for him. Awesome guy. He gave me a new
coffee. He made you some drink.
Some kind of special coffee that I'm afraid if I get drug tested I might fail because I don't know what was in it.
Barnes rolls one to short with a backhand Escobar. Austin Barnes the first out of the inning. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by Budweiser, proudly brewed across America. This Bud's for you. And by Gold Bond Ultimate Men's Essentials Powder. Stay cool with Gold Bond. Logan Forsythe had a walk during that rally on Thursday night and eventually scored the winning run. Pinch hitting for Dave Roberts with 1 out in the 9th. Moylan's first one. Strike 1.
So Moylan's a amazing story of just stick-to-itiveness, being an independent ball. He was with the Twins when I was with the Twins originally. Back in the mid-90s, got released, went away for a while, and came back and started playing again and started in the independent leagues and worked his way up with the Braves and pitched, and then disappeared again, had some surgeries, had some injuries, and he was actually a coach last year with the Braves. In spring training, they offered him a job as a player coach, and he took it and worked his way all the way back up to the big leagues, and now he's in Kansas City.
1 ball and 2 strikes.
He's had like 5 Tommy John surgeries. I don't know the exact number, but he's had a couple, 2 or 3. Some shoulder problems, but just keeps getting guys out from throwing the ball sidearm and getting ground balls.
And Ned Yost has not hesitated to use him in high leverage situations this year. Tie game in the 9th and a 1-2 to Logan Forsythe. Punch to second. Ramon Torres has it, and a pair of ground ball outs to open the 9th inning.
Exactly what Peter Moylan does. Those sinkers down and in on these righties. He gets ground balls, 1 to short and 1 to second.
So with the bases empty and 2 gone, it's up to Hernandez if the Dodgers want to get things done in regulation.
Well, he gets an opportunity against a right-handed pitcher here. Used mainly against lefties, and always wants to show that he can play against anybody.
Swings away at the first pitch and flies it into the seats. 0-1. Career high 8 home runs this year for Kike Hernandez. Moylan brings him an 0-1 pitch. It spins away, lays off, and it's 1-1.
Can we go back and play what if? What if the Royals didn't get thrown out at home plate on that send with nobody out?
What if Soria would have thrown a fastball instead of your changeup and Bellinger put the great swing on it?
No, you can't do that. That's a pitch. We're talking about don't send them.
You're right.
Nobody out. Get thrown out at home.
That was in the 4th inning. It was 3-0 at that point, and Mike Jerschele sent Jorge Bonifacio with nobody out. He was gunned down at the plate by Joc Pederson. Hernandez cracks it in the air down the right field line. Bonifacio settles under it, but he gets into the seats. 2-2. Two hottest teams in baseball over the last month. Kansas City, an American League best 18-7 since early June. The Dodgers have gone on a 24-4 tear. A pop-up. Merrifield started back, now comes on. He's got it. And the Dodgers down an order in the ninth to send us to extras. Kansas City bringing up the heart of the order in the 10th. #1 mobile app for live baseball. You can stay connected with a fully customizable experience, get club branded home screen icons and app features, and plenty more. Download it today. All right, get your pencils out, your erasers out. Chase Utley is now at first base. Logan Forsythe at second. Cody Bellinger moves to right. And into the game to pitch Ross Stripling, who's been back and forth between AAA and the majors this year. Eric Hosmer leads it off and looks at strike one. Middle of the order for Kansas City. Perez and Moustakas to follow. A tie, and it's 1-1. Kansas City trying to even this series at a game apiece after the Dodgers took the opener last night 4-1.
Important for the Royals, obviously. Just you want to get a win before you have to face Kershaw tomorrow. Kansas City will be countering with
their ace.
Yeah,
Duffy.
Duffy, absolutely.
That's a great matchup.
It really is.
It's two of the best left-handed pitchers for strikeouts in baseball.
Dodgers haven't lost a Clayton Kershaw start since May 1st.
He's on a stretch, what, 20-some innings of scoreless baseball? Chasing down your partner, Mr. Oral Hershiser. There's
59.
There's Duffy right there.
Yeah. They're looking like he might need to pinch hit at some point. He's looking at the lineup card thinking, man, might have to do this hitting thing today.
He's a California guy.
Here's the 1-2. That's by the hands for ball 2 on Hosmer.
And if you're going up with Hosmer, you better miss up. Because again, one of the few left-handed hitters that is a high ball hitter.
Leading off the 10th. And hitting one foul. Stripling might have gotten away with that one, huh?
Yeah, that one not as high as Barnesy would have liked.
Just enough cut to get off his barrel and cause him to foul it off, though. It just proves you that pitchers do get away with mistakes.
Punched to short. Seager has it sneak under his glove, and perhaps the door open for Kansas City as Hosmer takes second. The normally sure-handed Corey Seager has it sneak into center field, and the Royals have the go-ahead run in scoring position.
How about the hustle by Hosmer?
Let's talk about him not taking anything for granted. Hits a weak ground ball to shortstop, busting his tail out of the box. Goes under the glove, and he never even slowed down. He knew right away, hey, I got a chance to get to second, get in scoring position, give us the lead in extra innings, and made it rather easily.
Now he's running hard right there. That's really a great job by a first baseman there. Very athletic. As you mentioned, extra innings, hot as heck out here today, and giving it his all.
Seager's first error since May. So now Stripling trying to pitch around his defense's issues. First one to Sal Perez. In the dirt, good stop by Barnes.
And it might not happen with no outs, but Eric Hosmer's been known to steal third a lot in his career. People look at him as a big lumbering first baseman, but he can steal bases. He can run a lot better than people give him credit for, and he's really adept at stealing, especially third base.
Royals have been good in these situations tonight. Stripling to Perez for the 1-0. Fouled back, 1-1. A few days ago, earlier on this road trip, Perez won a game for Kansas City with an opposite field home run in extra innings. It was his home run in the 8th that gave the Royals their short-lived lead in this one. Answered by Bellinger's homer in the bottom of the 8th to put us into extras. Yank foul, 1-2. Ross Stripling was a really important piece of this bullpen early on. Took an ERA around 2.5 into the month of June, but in his last 3 big league outings, he allowed 8 runs over 5 2/3, and now making his first appearance since late June. A 1-2. He gets Perez swinging and a ball in the dirt. Barnes looks Hosmer back and throws him out.
Just a tough at bat for Salvador Perez. He's trying everything in his power to get Hosmer over to third with less than 2 outs. Looking for a ball out, just swung at one in the dirt. Great play, though, by Barnes to keep it in front of him and hold Hosmer at second.
You know what, though, in that situation with the type of hitter that Sal Perez is, and where he is he's an RBI producer, he's a run producer. You're up there trying to hit the ball hard, and if you want to give it a shot to the right side, maybe you do that early in the count. But after that, I'm trying to hit it hard.
Now Moustakas swings away, launches a fly ball to left. Taylor's on the move, still running to catch it in the corner for out number 2. Got a long way to go. Luckily for the Dodgers, he's a speedster.
A lot of ground to cover for Taylor. The Dodgers in a shift because of Moustakas. Full speed. Got there fairly easily. Nice play. Hosmer's still at second. And I love the index cards.
Yeah,
Everyone has the index cards. Catchers have them. Outfielders have them. Guys put them in their hats just to tell you where to play and where to stand.
Did you go to one later in your career?
No.
Never.
I refused.
I figured that was
too stubborn.
Escobar with a man at second and 2 gone. Royals with a golden opportunity here in the 10th. Escobar takes ball 1.
Escobar had a 2-strike hit off Kenta Maeda last night, 2-out RBI. I'd stay with the breaking stuff. Would not throw him fastballs right now.
Poke to second. Forsythe has it, and the Dodgers get away from allowing a run to score. Even though the air from Seager opened the door, Stripling able to close it. Top of the order coming up in the bottom of the 10th. Hits Miami when baseball's biggest stars take the field for the MLB All-Star Game this Tuesday at 7:30 Eastern, only on Fox. There will be 6 Dodgers at the game, including 3 guys that have a chance to bat in this inning. Seager due up second, Turner due up third, and then Bellinger would bat after that. But first it'll be Chase Utley against Scott Alexander, who is now caught by Drew Butera, checking in for Salvador Perez. And Alexander on to pitch the bottom of the 10th.
See, Alexander been very effective this year. In here to give the Royals another chance to score a run. You turn the ball over to Kelvin Herrera.
Well, he's 1 for 4 tonight. His club 5 home runs on the season. He's ahead of Alexander 2-0.
It's such a different dynamic when you're the home and road team. The way you use your bullpen. The Dodgers already used Jansen. They fired their bullet in the 9th to get him out. Now the Royals have to wait and see if they get the opportunity to get a lead and use their closer. This is why the argument is always made, should you use your closer earlier in games, not just in situations with the lead, things like that. And this is when it comes up more than any other time in a baseball game.
Alexander's 2-1. Utley hits it foul and the count evens up.
Remember though, in a tie game at home, you can only use your closer in a tie game, right? You can't use them when you got the lead.
No, absolutely.
If it goes extras.
But why when you're the road team, do you not use your closer to try to keep the game for one inning? Maybe he'll give you 1 inning or 2 innings, and you keep the game at the same place.
Because it's so tough to pitch with the game on the line or the lead to close it out, right? I mean, that's the thought process.
Only the veteran, third season in Los Angeles, came over at the deadline or just after the deadline in 2015. Leading off the 10th in a 4-4 game.
He was a late sign this year too. Had an average spring, started off real slow, but then has really played well.
He's worked a full count. Yeah, when the Dodgers traded for Logan Forsythe, it looked like the door was probably closed to a return for Chase Utley, and signed a very team-friendly deal. And through the month of May, he was one of the best hitters in the National League. Especially important with Forsythe out for much of that month with an injury. 3-2 on Chase Utley. Alexander pitches. And a foul ball.
Well, he means volumes in that clubhouse, how he plays the game, an example of how to do things the quote-unquote right way. He's had a huge impact on Corey Seager. You know, Dave Roberts has said that Chase Utley is one of his favorite players.
Ever.
Yeah, ever. Yeah.
Another payoff. A leadoff walk here in the 10th for Utley.
Shortstop number 5, Corey Seager.
Dodgers looking for their 6th walk-off win of the season and getting into the teeth of their lineup that's been as good as any in baseball.
Well, you mentioned here comes the all-star part. You got Seager, Turner, Bellinger coming up. You mentioned the Dodgers sending 6 to Miami. I'm sure Scott Akasaki, the great traveling secretary, has probably chartered a plane for these guys, knowing how good he is. Let's see what Corey does.
One of the best first ball hitters in baseball. Watches one miss, 1-0. 13 homers this year for him. Quite a follow-up sophomore season for the reigning Rookie of the Year. Winning run at first in the 10th. And 2-0 on Corey Seager. After Seager, it'll be the National League's leading hitter, Justin Turner. Dodgers sending a string of 3 consecutive All-Stars through the lineup here in this inning. Utley runs, swing and a miss, throw to second, no chance. Utley stolen second, and the winning run is in scoring position.
Huge jump for Utley, 2-0 count. Pitcher's, all of his focus is on the hitter, trying to throw a strike. He knows that as a veteran player, walks into second base. Now the Dodgers are in business, and we'll see if what Dave Roberts told us, they need to get a little better in situational hitting. Well, here's their opportunity to get it done and score without getting a hit.
On 2-1. Seager lifts it foul, and it's 2-2.
And it sounds so easy, though, to just hit a ground ball to the second baseman.
But
it is so hard to do that when you're trying to do that.
But we watched what happened with Sal Perez the last inning, where he's trying to continue to do that. Right now with 2 strikes, all bets are off. I'm just trying to hit the ball hard. Forget trying to pull it to second. I'm trying to hit it hard.
Full count.
Well, see, that's why you hit 100 more homers in your career than I did, because I was always trying to hit the ground ball to second, because at least then if I made it out, my teammates would still give me a high five.
Well, first base open here, so it's really up to Alexander. Does he want Seager or does he want Turner right now?
I'm throwing something off the plate outside.
Fouled off.
I'm not even sure I'm throwing a strike. I'm hoping that Seager expands the zone a little bit. I'm throwing something on the outside part to prevent him from hitting it to the right side. Again, what's the worst case scenario? I've got first and second, Turner up. I play for a double play.
Well, you face the guy hitting 380 that's right-handed. That's the worst case scenario.
He's due to get an out.
Pick your poison. The payoff. Seager takes ball 4, and the Dodgers are at first and second with nobody out. And here comes Justin Turner.
I bunt Turner right here.
Of course you do.
That's part of my game. That's what I believe in, right?
A rare 0 for 3 for him in this one so far. Dave Eiland headed out there to talk with Alexander and his infielders.
That was more of a, hey, we need you to throw a strike here, kid, meaning than anything. You bring in a young pitcher, you bring in a new catcher, they walk the first 2 guys, give up a stolen base, and now you're really into it because you have the 3-4 hitters for the Dodgers, both guys going to Miami for the All-Star game. One guy hitting 380, one guy that's already gone deep today.
So 2 on, nobody out, and a tie game in the 10th inning.
See Justin hitting lefties pretty well.
Hitting everybody pretty well. Ball 1. Former Mets cast-off. Turned into an all-star here in Los Angeles. Can win it with a base hit against Alexander. Jammed foul. It's 1-1.
If you're Turner, you're trying to elevate a ball to right field, right? You can't hit the ball on the ground because it's more than likely a double play.
I'm always in RBI situations. I'm always thinking right center. Very rarely does a pitcher want to come inside because they're afraid they're going to miss. That pitch left right over the middle of the plate.
But by his approach and the way he missed that, he certainly looked like he was doing what you said, trying to hit the ball to right center. If you're going to miss, you got to miss to right.
Right, absolutely.
And it's also a harder double play if the second baseman is going towards first base or if the first baseman fields.
The 1-1 takes it low. 2 balls and a strike with Cody Bellinger on deck.
You also think about right center. You're waiting. The ball will travel. If you're trying to get the bat head out, sometimes you may get out there too soon. Easy to roll over something, and then you're susceptible to a double play.
Only the winning run at second. Alexander is ready. And is 2-1. Inside for ball 3.
Look for something away and up.
So you're saying he shouldn't cheat to the fastball here and try to get the head out and go deep?
Herrera getting loose.
Interesting that he's up right now in a game where they don't have the lead. That's basically if he walks him right here to try to save him.
That's down the line and foul, and it's 3-2.
See, there you go. Get the head out and try to yank it.
But that's the thing. I mean, you're not going to keep that thing fair, right? It's in off the plate. Probably a strike.
There's also a human aspect to this game where emotions kick in, adrenaline kicks in, and you know what? Justin Turner wants to be the man.
100% right.
So that's where the hard part of playing this game is when the human factor kicks in and you have to control that and stick with your approach and your plan that we talked about earlier.
The payoff. He's walked in. The bases are loaded for Cody Bellinger. Ned Yost storms his way out of the Kansas City dugout and will have to make a change to his closer, but the Royals wondering if it's too late. Kelvin Herrera comes into a bases-loaded, nobody-out situation to face the All-Star Cody Bellinger, tied at 4 in the 10th. Comes up to the plate to face off with Kelvin Herrera. He's gone the other way twice. Did once with a double, did once with a game-tying homer in the 8th inning.
We had a special request from the Dodgers clubhouse and Brandon McCarthy asking us to break down that swing of Cody Bellinger. So, EK, I'm giving it to you, pal.
Oh, we got Herrera on the mound. I can't break down anything, so I apologize for that. But, Brendan, we hear you.
Number of ways Bellinger could get the job done here. Winning run at third. And ball one from Herrera.
This is a tough ask of your closer. We asked why he wasn't in the game already. Now you bring him in with the bases loaded and no outs to try to get out of this and keep the game alive. It's a tough ask by Ned Yost.
Infield comes in. The 1-0. That's low. 2 balls and no strikes, and there's nowhere to put Cody Bellinger.
And this is just as you discussed a second ago, AJ. This is where the emotional component, you got to control yourself as a hitter.
So in saying that, do you take here 2-0? He's a fresh guy out of the bullpen. Do you want to see a strike? Make him throw a strike?
No, I'm right now. I'm up at the plate, and I'm just looking for something that I can get my hands to. Something, again, I'm thinking left center. I've been so good at that today. I'm thinking left center, something thigh high, and I'm shooting it out there. I'm looking for just a single, a walk-off, and let my teammates come hit me and rip my shirt off.
The 2-0. Strike one at 99 from Herrera.
And not the pitch you're looking for if you're trying to go to left center. A fastball up and in.
That's just a filthy pitch right there. And that's the area that Cody Bellinger, he has some issues right there. If there's any hole, that's where it may be.
3-1.
But it's also hard for a pitcher to throw 3 strikes inside to any hitter. They're just not used to doing that, consistently throwing strikes in.
The Dodgers have loaded the bases on 3 walks. Another would spell the end. A pop fly into foul ground. It'll reach the seats, and the count is full. Everything Cody Bellinger's done this season, the 25 home runs, the great defense, playing all over the field. One thing he doesn't yet have is a walk-off.
I'm going inside if I'm Herrera. I'm going inside.
He's gone inside the hole at bat, so you got to stay there. He also has a devastating changeup, so.
He's walked him. It's a walk-off walk for Cody Bellinger to provide the latest moment in this storybook season for the Dodgers. For the final score as the Dodgers get 4 walks in the 10th inning to beat the Royals.
Dodgers continued their story season, come back and win another.
Tough loss to the Royals. The way they battle with Kershaw tomorrow, it's going to be a tough series, tough way to end the All-Star break.
Dodgers have now won 25 of their last 29 games. Coming up next, we'll send it back to the studio for post-game coverage right after these messages.